What if money is not something you chase, but something you summon? What if it is not an object, but an energy, not a number in an account, but a resonance in your soul? For your entire life, you have been taught to see wealth as something outside of yourself, something to be earned, fought for, saved, and feared. You have been handed a map that leads everywhere, but the destination you truly seek. So for this next hour, I invite you to put that map down. I invite you to close your eyes to the world of striving and open your awareness to the world of being. Consider that the universe does not operate on effort, but on alignment. It does not respond to your struggle, but to your signal. The financial reality you experience is merely an echo, a perfect, unwavering reflection of a code that is running deep within your subconscious mind. A code written not in numbers, but in beliefs. A code passed down through generations, etched into you by words you barely remember and feelings you have long since buried. This is the money code, and it has been determining your story without your consent. But a code that was written can be rewritten. A signal that is distorted can be clarified. This is not a journey of learning something new. There are no complex strategies here, no external tricks. This is a journey of remembering the infinite value that is your birthright, a value that has nothing to do with what you do and everything to do with who you are. This is an excavation, a returning to the source. We are not here to add, we are here to strip away, to remove the layers of lack, of limitation, of unworthiness, until all that is left is the radiant core of abundance that has been waiting patiently within you all along. The sounds you hear, the words that will be spoken, are designed as a key, a vibrational key to unlock the doors you have long believed were sealed shut. This is an invitation to recalibrate your own existence, to shift the very frequency of your being so that wealth is no longer something you pursue, but something that pursues you, a natural consequence of who you have become. So breathe. Let go of what you think you know. The journey to unlock the code is not a journey outward, into the noise of the world. It is a journey inward, into the profound and powerful silence of you. Let us begin. The first key you must turn, the first wall of illusion you must pass through, is the most pervasive and the most powerful. It is the foundation upon which all other anxieties about money are built. It is the quiet, unexamined assumption that money is a thing, that it is an external object, separate from you, existing somewhere out there in the world, waiting to be captured. Paper in a wallet, metal in a coin, a number on a screen. You have been taught to see it, to count it, to chase it, and so you believe in its separateness. You believe it is a force with its own will, a prize to be won or lost in the great game of life. This is the first and greatest hypnosis, and today you will begin to awaken from it. Imagine your entire financial life, all your experiences with wealth and with lack, as a single, enormous mirror. It stands before you now, in the quiet space of your mind. Its frame is ornate, carved with all the stories you have ever been told about success and failure. Its surface is flawless, polished by your constant attention, your hopes, and your fears. Since you were a child, you have stood before this mirror. When the reflection showed an image of abundance, a smiling figure with open hands, you felt joy, security, relief. When the reflection showed an image of scarcity, a hunched figure with clenched fists, you felt a cold knot of fear in your stomach. Your entire emotional world has been a reaction to the image in this mirror. And what did you do? When you did not like the image, you did what you were taught. You tried to change the reflection directly. You ran at the mirror, trying to scrub away the image of lack. You pleaded with it. You argued with it. You negotiated with it. You promised it you would be better, work harder, be more deserving. If only it would show you a kinder image. You saw others whose mirrors reflected opulence, and you tried to copy their posture, their words, their actions, hoping your own reflection would mimic theirs. You spent years, perhaps decades, polishing the glass, believing that a clearer mirror might somehow produce a better image, but the reflection of lack only became more painfully clear. A perfect, silent mockery of your frantic efforts. You have been exhausted by this fight, worn down by this battle against an image. But now, in this moment of stillness, I invite you to do something you have never done before. Stop fighting the reflection, stop looking at the mirror, and for the first time, truly see what is being reflected. Take a long, slow breath and turn your gaze inward. The mirror is not a creator. The mirror is not a judge. The mirror is a messenger. It has no opinion, no agenda, no will of its own. It can only do one thing with perfect, unfailing, and dispassionate accuracy. It can only show you, you. The anxious figure it reflects is not the fault of the mirror. It is the posture of your own soul. The clenched fists it shows are not an external reality, but a direct image of your own inner state of contraction, your belief in limitation. The story of not enough is not written on the mirror's surface. It is written upon your heart. This is a truth so simple and so profound that the mind will want to reject it. It will want to point to the economy, to your boss, to your upbringing, to your bad luck. It will point to anything, anywhere, to avoid this one, liberating, terrifying realization. The source of the reflection is me. The entire world of your finance, every dollar earned, every bill paid with anxiety, every missed opportunity, has been nothing more and nothing less than a perfect reflection of your internal state of being. Money is not paper. That is just its densest, most physical form. Money is a symbol. It is an agreement. Most importantly, it is energy. And energy does not operate by the rules of objects. It operates by the laws of resonance and vibration. You cannot grab a radio wave from the air. You can only tune your receiver to its frequency. You have been spending your life trying to grab the radio wave of wealth, when all you ever needed to do was adjust the dial of your own consciousness. The world taught you to be a hunter. It told you to go out and kill what you eat, to track, to pursue, to conquer. But your true nature is not that of a hunter. Your true nature is that of a sun. A sun does not chase the planets, demanding they accept its light and warmth. A sun does not worry if a distant asteroid is receiving its share. A sun does not strive. It does not struggle. It simply is. It rests in the center of its own being, in a state of perpetual, unconditional radiance. And by the very law of its nature, the planets are drawn to it. They orbit it. They are held in its embrace, nourished by its light, warmed by its presence. The sun's power is not in its doing, but in its being. You have been living as a planet, believing you are at the mercy of some distant, external sun. You have been living as the effect. The first, most crucial step in rewriting your money code is to abandon the hunt, to lay down your weapons, to stop running, and to reclaim your rightful position at the center of your own universe. To accept that you are the cause. The financial world you experience is the effect. This is not an act of ego. It is an act of profound responsibility. It means there is no one to blame, and it means there is no one to wait for. The power to change the reflection has never been in the mirror's hands. It has always been in yours. So let this truth settle into you, deeper than thought, deeper than words. Let it land in the cells of your body. Money is a mirror. My reality is a reflection. When you feel that old, familiar pang of anxiety about a bill, see the mirror. When you feel the sting of envy at another's success, see the mirror. When you feel the guilt of spending or the fear of not having, see the mirror. Do not engage with the image. Do not fight it. Simply observe it and let it be your guide. Let it be the messenger that tells you what is happening inside of you. It is showing you where your inner posture is stooped in fear, It is showing you where your energetic hands are clenched in a fist of lack. It is showing you, with perfect love and neutrality, the parts of yourself that are asking to be healed, to be straightened, to be opened. For the remainder of this journey together, hold this one image in your mind, this one foundational truth. Everything else we do will be built upon this. The mirror is your friend. The reflection is your teacher. You are not a victim of your finances. You are the source of them. So we stop asking the desperate question, how can I change my reflection? And we begin to ask the powerful, creative, and transformative question, who must I become for the reflection to change on its own? Breathe into that question. Don't try to answer it. Just let it echo in the new, quiet space you have created. The space where you are no longer the runner, but the source. The space where you are no longer the reflection, but the light itself. Now that you are standing before the mirror, now that you understand the reflection originates from within you, we must ask the next, deeper question. Who is this self being reflected? Is the weary, anxious figure you see in the glass truly you? Or is it a phantom, a ghost constructed from the borrowed bones of the past? The truth is, the self that has been generating your financial reality is not your authentic self. It is an echo, a composite being, assembled from the whispers, the fears, the warnings, and the silent anxieties of those who came before you. You think your thoughts about money are your own, but they are not. You are living inside an inheritance of belief, a code passed down so seamlessly that you have mistaken it for your own personality. Imagine, if you will, a set of invisible chains, forged not of iron, but of ideas, handed down from generation to generation. A mother, fearing the scarcity she knew, lovingly fastens a single link around her child's wrist, a link that whispers, "Be careful, the world is not safe." A father, exhausted from a lifetime of hard labor, fastens another, this one humming with the vibration, "You must struggle for everything you get." These chains were not given in malice, they were given in love. A desperate, misguided love that sought to protect you by imprisoning you within the same limitations that held them captive. They gave you their survival map, not realizing it was also a map of their prison. And you, in your childhood innocence, accepted these chains as a part of your own body. You have carried them for so long you have forgotten their weight. You have mistaken the sound of their clinking for the beating of your own heart. Our task now is to hear them for what they are, to see them, and to lovingly, deliberately let them fall. This is an act of archaeology. I want you to travel back with me, not with judgment, but with gentle curiosity. Go back to the kitchen table of your youth. Listen. What was the sound of money in your home? Was it the sound of loud arguments, doors slamming in the night? Or was it a heavy, suffocating silence, a topic so charged with shame it could never be spoken of? Did you feel the palpable tension in the air as your parents opened the mail? Did you absorb the silent worry radiating from them like a low-grade fever? These feelings entered you before you even had words for them. They became the bedrock of your financial nervous system. You learned, without ever being taught, that money equals conflict, or money equals shame, or money equals a constant, unspoken dread. This is the first layer of code, the emotional inheritance. It operates beneath your conscious mind, guiding your decisions from a place of primal fear. You think you are avoiding a risky investment, but you are actually just avoiding the feeling of your father's anger. You think you are being frugal, but you are actually reenacting your mother's quiet resignation as she put a desired item back on the shelf. Now, let us listen for the words. The phrases that were repeated so often they became indistinguishable from the truth. They are the links in the chain. Let them surface now. Money doesn't grow on trees. Hear that phrase. Feel it. It is not a statement of botanical fact. It is a powerful spell of separation. It severs your connection to the effortless abundance of the natural world, a world where everything, in fact, does grow on trees. It teaches you that sustenance is unnatural, difficult, and scarce. It codes your system to believe that you live in a barren universe. Another one: we can't afford that. These 4 words, often spoken with a sigh of finality, are a hammer blow to a child's expanding sense of possibility. It is not just a statement about a specific toy or vacation. It is a declaration of identity. It trains the child to define their family, and therefore themselves, by what they lack. It builds a cage whose bars are made of the things you cannot have. Over time, you stop even asking. You stop even wanting. Your world shrinks to the size of that phrase. And what about the beliefs concerning wealth itself? Rich people are greedy. You have to be a crook to get that much money. They are rich, but they are not happy. These are defense mechanisms. They are the stories people tell themselves to make their own lack more palatable. But for a child, they become moral commands. They create a deep, internal conflict. A part of you naturally desires freedom and expansion, but another, more powerful part, the part that wants to be a good person, believes that to be wealthy is to be morally corrupt. And so, your subconscious mind, in its desire to keep you good and safe, will sabotage any opportunity for significant wealth. It will protect you from becoming the very thing you were taught to despise. You are not failing to get rich. You are succeeding at staying good. There are others, of course. You have to work hard for every penny. This one equates value with struggle. It teaches you that ease is lazy, that flow is untrustworthy. It chains your income to the hours you can labor, creating a reality where you must trade your life force for survival. What if your value is not in your effort, but in your existence? What if wealth could come to you in your sleep, through an idea, through a moment of inspired joy? This belief makes that reality impossible. These phrases, these emotional atmospheres, these silent warnings, are the chains. They are not you. They are programs you are running. They are echoes in a room. Now, let us begin the work of creating silence. I want you to pick one of these beliefs, one that resonates most deeply with you right now. See it not as a truth, but as an object, a single, heavy link of a chain in your hand. Feel its weight. See its age, the rust from years of use. Now, I want you to thank it. Thank this belief for what it tried to do. It tried to keep you safe, based on the knowledge it had. It tried to protect you from disappointment. It tried to make you a good person. It did its job. And now, with reverence and with firmness, you must tell it that its job is done. Its services are no longer required. You are no longer a child who needs protection from the world. You are a conscious creator who is ready to define it. In your mind's eye, see yourself opening your hand. Let the link drop to the floor. Hear the heavy metallic sound as it lands. It is not a part of you. It is just a thing, a story, an echo. And now it is on the floor. Feel the lightness in your hand. Feel the new space where that weight used to be. You are not betraying your family by doing this. You are healing them. You are stopping the cycle of pain from being passed down one more time. By releasing the chain, you are not only freeing yourself, you are freeing the ghosts of your ancestors and the destiny of your descendants. You are the one who breaks the curse. This is the work. To become an archaeologist of your own soul. To dig up these artifacts of lack, to hold them to the light, to understand their origin, to thank them for their service, and to let them go, one by one. You are not destroying your past. You are curating it. You are deciding which parts of your history belong in the museum of your life, and which parts belong in storage, honored but no longer on display. With every belief you release, the reflection in the mirror changes. The hunched figure begins to straighten. The clenched fists begin to soften. A new silence begins to emerge. And in this sacred silence, for the very first time, your own true voice, your own authentic desire, has the space to finally speak. We have stood before the mirror and seen that the reflection is our own. We have journeyed into the past and unhooked the invisible chains of inherited belief. A new space has been created within you, a quietness. But into this quietness, an old and familiar machine will try to restart itself. A machine that was built by those old beliefs and powered by your own life force. We must now dismantle this machine, for it is the very engine of misery. It is the prison of enough. Listen to that word, enough. It sounds so reasonable, so humble. It is not a greedy word like more. It feels like a safe harbor, a destination of peace. If I just had enough to pay the bills without worry. If I could just make enough to be secure. We spend our lives chasing this horizon, believing that on the other side of enough lies a land of permanent tranquility. But this is the most seductive and dangerous illusion of all. Enough is not a destination. It is a ghost. It is a horizon that moves with you. The moment you reach the place where you thought enough would be, the horizon has already shifted further away. The promotion you get is not enough. Now you need the next one. The debt you pay off is not enough. Now you must build a bigger savings. The prison of enough is not a place you can escape by accumulating more. The accumulation is the prison. Imagine a hamster wheel, a sleek, modern wheel inside a cage with invisible bars. When you were young, fear placed you on this wheel. The fear of not having, the fear of falling behind. And you began to run. At first it was a slow jog, but then you looked outside the cage and saw billboards of other people's lives, images of happiness tied to cars and houses and vacations you didn't have. So you ran faster. The wheel spun, your heart pounded, you felt the burn of effort in your lungs. The world praises this running. It calls it ambition, it calls it a good work ethic, it calls it responsibility. And the genius of this prison is that it feels like progress. The sheer effort must be getting you somewhere, right? But then, in a moment of exhaustion, you look up, and you realize the bars of the cage have not moved an inch. You are in the exact same place you started, only now you are more tired, more breathless, more desperate. This is the scarcity loop, the hamster wheel powered by the perpetual motion of not enough. Let us dissect the anatomy of this insidious machine. It operates on a simple hypnotic formula, the when, then trap. When I get that raise, then I will finally relax. When I have 6 months of savings, then I will feel secure. When the kids are through college, then my life can begin. This when, then structure is the fundamental grammar of scarcity. It perpetually locates peace in the future. It makes the present moment a mere stepping stone, a place to be endured, a means to an end. But the then never truly arrives, because the anxiety you feel is not caused by the lack of the raise or the savings. The anxiety is the fuel for the wheel. It is a pre-existing condition. Once you get the raise, the machine, in its desperate need for fuel, will immediately find a new source of anxiety. The target simply moves. Now it's about the next raise, the stock market, the housing bubble. The wheel demands to be spun. This machine also creates a deep addiction to striving. Your nervous system becomes so accustomed to the high alert state of running that stillness feels terrifying, peace feels lazy, rest feels unproductive. Have you ever taken a vacation only to spend the entire time checking your email, thinking about work, unable to simply be? That is the withdrawal symptom of a mind addicted to the wheel. The system mistakes the frantic energy of striving for the feeling of being alive. It has forgotten that true aliveness is found not in the frantic spin, but in the deep, grounded peace of the earth beneath your feet. The loop is further accelerated by the engine of comparison. You are not just running against your own fears. You are running against the curated highlight reels of everyone else's life. You see their filtered success, their projected abundance, and you push yourself harder, believing you are falling behind in a race that has no finish line. You are trying to match the speed of a million other ghosts on a million other wheels. The great deception that keeps this entire prison intact is the belief that more money is the cure. If the feeling is not enough, surely the answer must be more. But this is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The feeling of not enough is a state of consciousness. It is a lens through which you see the world. It has nothing to do with the number in your bank account. You can be a prisoner of enough in a tiny apartment, terrified of next month's rent. Or you can be a prisoner of enough in a sprawling mansion, terrified of market fluctuations. The anxiety is identical. The wheel is just gold-plated. The walls of this prison are not made of poverty. They are made of thought. So how do you escape? You cannot outrun the wheel. You cannot break it with force. The only way out is to stop. Simply stop running. This is the most courageous and radical act of rebellion you can perform. The moment you slow down, the moment you take your foot off the next rung, the momentum will feel overwhelming. The fear you have been outrunning your entire life will finally catch up to you. It will scream at you that you are being irresponsible, that you will lose everything, that you will fail. The wheel will spin with the ghosts of your past and the phantoms of your future. You must stand still. You must let the fear wash over you like a wave, without being swept away by it. Acknowledge it. I see you, fear. And then you must consciously, deliberately take your other foot off the wheel and stand on the solid ground of the present moment. In the deafening silence that follows, you perform the sacred act that dissolves the prison. You redefine enough. Enough is not an amount to be acquired in the future. Enough is a declaration to be made in the present. It is a conscious act of sovereignty. It is looking at this exact moment, right here, right now, and declaring it to be whole and complete. It is a revolution. Practice this with me now. Feel the breath moving into your lungs. This breath is enough. It is the only breath you need in this moment. Feel the chair or the floor supporting your body. This support is enough. You are held. Notice a single object in your room, a book, a lamp, a crack in the ceiling. In this moment, its existence is enough. By focusing on the tangible, present reality of what is, you starve the wheel of its fuel, which is the obsession with what is not. You withdraw your energy from the frantic chase, and you anchor it in the profound sufficiency of the now. I am breathing. I am here. This is enough. From this state of being, a new reality can be born. You stop acting from a place of deficit, and you begin to act from a place of fullness. The decisions you make are no longer desperate lunges for a future salvation, but calm, inspired expressions of your present wholeness. The choice you face every day is not between poverty and wealth. It is between the frantic, exhausting energy of the wheel and the deep, creative peace of the ground. The wheel promises a future that never comes. The ground offers a present that is already perfect. Step off the wheel. Let it spin itself into silence. Declare this moment, this breath, this existence as enough. And from this radical place of profound sufficiency, watch as the mirror of your reality finally begins to reflect back to you the quiet, unshakable peace you thought you had to run a marathon to deserve. You have stepped off the frantic wheel of enough. You are standing on the solid, quiet ground of the present moment. And in this newfound stillness, a question, both terrifying and liberating, begins to surface. If my worth is not measured by my speed on the wheel, if my value is not determined by my productivity or my bank balance, then what is its measure? If I am not what I do, and I am not what I have, then who and what am I? We have now arrived at the very heart of the money code. We have come to the center from which all abundance flows. We have come to the subject of your own intrinsic value. From the moment you were born, you were inducted into a silent, cosmic accounting error, a great and tragic devaluation. You were taught, through a million subtle and overt cues, that your value was conditional. It was a commodity to be earned. You earned it with good grades, with politeness, with obedience. You earned it by being helpful, by not being a burden. Later, you were taught to earn it with a good job, with a respectable title, with a stable income. Your entire life has been structured as a performance, a relentless effort to prove to the world and to yourself that you deserve to be here, that you have earned your right to take up space, to breathe the air, to desire joy. You have lived as a beggar, pleading for a validation that was your birthright all along. Consider a diamond buried deep within the Earth's mantle. It exists under immense, unimaginable pressure. It is not striving. It is not performing a task. It is not trying to impress the surrounding granite. It does not worry about its future appraisal by a jeweler. Its value is not in its discovery, nor in its cutting, nor in its setting. Its value is inherent to its very nature. Its crystalline structure, forged in the crucible of the earth, is value. It is inseparable from its being. You are this diamond. Your consciousness, the unique spark of awareness that is you, was forged in the crucible of the cosmos. You arrived here with an absolute, unshakable, and non-negotiable intrinsic value. This value has nothing to do with your accomplishments. It is not enhanced by your successes, and it is not diminished by your failures. Your job, your assets, your relationships, your good deeds, these are merely the settings in which the diamond of your being is temporarily placed. The setting can be of simple tin or of ornate gold, but it does not alter the nature of the gem. You have spent your life polishing the setting, obsessing over the setting, crying over the setting, believing that the setting defined the stone. The work now is to forget the setting for a moment and to remember the diamond. Think back on the endless quest to prove your worth, the long hours at work to gain a supervisor's approval, the sacrifices made to meet your family's expectations, the constant, low-level anxiety of managing the perceptions of others, the performance of being successful or spiritual or a good person. Did any of it bring you a lasting sense of peace? Or did each victory, each hurdle cleared, simply raise the bar for the next proof that was required? You get the degree, but then you must prove it was worth it with a high-paying job. You get the job, but then you must prove you deserve it with constant productivity. The quest to prove your worth is a game rigged against you, because its very premise is a lie. You cannot earn what you already are. To even try is to validate the illusion that you are somehow lacking. The universe does not operate on this flawed accounting system. The sun does not demand that the earth prove its worthiness before bestowing its light. The ocean does not ask the shore to be deserving of its tides. The air does not charge you for the oxygen that fills your lungs with life. These things are given freely, unconditionally, absolutely. Your value, your right to exist and to be nourished by the flow of universal abundance, is of this same nature. It is a fundamental law of your existence. You have simply been hypnotized into believing you were an exception to the rule. This brings us to the true currency. The world taught you that the currency of value is action, effort, doing. The truth is, the highest currency in the universe is being. It is the resonance of your own conscious presence. The most valuable thing you have to offer this world is not another frantic action, but the calm, centered radiance of a being who knows their own worth. When you operate from this state of intrinsic value, the entire dynamic of your life flips. You stop chasing money, approval, and love in order to feel worthy. This is the path of the beggar. Instead, you anchor yourself in the profound, unshakable truth of your own worthiness, and you become a powerful, energetic center, You become coherent, whole, and money, which is simply a neutral energy of exchange, becomes naturally and effortlessly drawn to the coherence and radiance of your field. It's the difference between being a black hole and being a sun. A black hole is a point of infinite lack, desperately pulling everything into itself to try to fill its void. A sun is a point of infinite fullness, effortlessly radiating energy outward, and by that very radiance, it organizes a whole solar system around itself. You have been taught to be a black hole. The journey now is to remember that you are a sun. Let us return to the diamond. A diamond does not chase light. It does not beg for it. It simply rests in its own magnificent crystalline structure. And when light enters it, it does not trap it or hoard it. It receives it, and through its unique nature, it refracts it, amplifies it, and sends it back out into the world as a dazzling, breathtaking display of fire and color. When you know your own intrinsic value, you become like this. You cease to be a beggar for the light of money, love, or validation. You become a perfect conduit. The energy of the universe flows to you and through you, and in the process, it is amplified and beautified by your unique essence. You are no longer trying to get wealth. You become an expression of it. Let us anchor this truth in your body beyond the reach of the doubting mind. Place a hand over the center of your chest. Feel the warmth of your own palm. Beneath it, feel the steady, rhythmic beat of your heart. This heartbeat is not earned. It was not awarded to you for good behavior. It is a gift. It is the rhythm of life itself, beating through you. Take a slow, deep breath into this space, and as you exhale, silently or aloud, make this declaration to the deepest part of your own being. My value is not negotiable. It is not conditional. It is not located in my past or my future. It is not in my bank account or on my resume. My value is inherent. It is absolute. It is in the fabric of my being, right here, right now. I am not the setting. I am the diamond. I am the currency. Sit with that. Feel the subtle or perhaps profound shift in your body. A release of tension in your jaw or shoulders. A deepening of your breath. A quieting of the inner critic who has been running the show for so long. This is the feeling of coming home. From this day forward, let this be the ground upon which you stand, the starting point for every decision, every action, every thought. You no longer need to ask, what must I do to be worthy? That question is now obsolete. The only question that matters is, as the infinitely valuable being that I already am, what do I choose to create? The answer to this new question will recalibrate your entire existence. It will build a world around you that does not bestow value upon you, but simply and finally reflects the dazzling, incalculable value that was there all along. You are not a piece of glass, hoping to catch the light. You are the diamond. It is time to shine. You have remembered the diamond. You have stood in the quiet power of your own unconditional worth. Now, we must learn the physics of this diamond. For a diamond does not merely exist. It interacts with light. It radiates. It resonates. We now move from the static truth of your value into the dynamic, living power of your vibration. This is where the code begins to execute. This is where the inner reality begins to command the outer reflection. Welcome to the law of resonance. Understand this. The universe is not a collection of solid, separate things. It is a vast, interconnected field of energy and information. It is a cosmic symphony. Everything you see and everything you cannot see is music. The heavy chair you are sitting on is a very slow, dense vibration. The light entering your window is a much faster, lighter vibration. And your thoughts, your emotions, your core beliefs, these too are vibrations. They are not private, contained events. They are your personal broadcast. They are the specific musical note that you are constantly playing out into the grand symphony of existence. And the universe, in its infinite intelligence, can only respond to the music you are playing. Imagine that your entire being, your mind, your body, your spirit is a perfectly calibrated tuning fork. By the fundamental laws of physics, a tuning fork can only be activated by, and can only attract to it, frequencies that precisely match its own. It remains deaf and inert to all other notes. For most of your life, your tuning fork has been set to the frequency of lack. This calibration was performed by your inherited beliefs, by the frantic energy of the hamster wheel, by the deep-seated error that you were not worthy. The constant, low hum of this frequency is the feeling you know as anxiety. It is the feeling of worry, of constriction, of bracing for the next bad thing. When you are holding this note, you are a perfect, resonant match for all experiences that harmonize with it. The unexpected bill in the mail, the client that cancels, the opportunity that falls through at the last minute. These are not random punishments. They are not bad luck. They are resonant harmonics. They are the universe simply and perfectly matching the note that you are holding steady. The universe hears your song of not enough, and it sends you more experiences that sound just like it. Now, in the quiet of your mind, let us imagine another frequency, the frequency of abundance. What does this note sound like? What does it feel like in your body? It is not the loud, manic, frantic energy of a lottery win. That is the energy of shock, not abundance. True abundance is a much quieter, deeper, and more stable frequency. It is the calm, expansive feeling of trust. It is the profound peace of knowing, in your bones, that you are and always will be provided for. It is the open-hearted warmth of generosity. It is the quiet, unshakable confidence of the diamond. It is the feeling of a deep, slow, easy breath. This is a real, tangible, physical frequency. And the law is this: you cannot experience the reality of abundance until you first become a resonant match for its frequency. The universe does not give you what you want with your pleading mind. It gives you what you match with your vibrating being. So, the question becomes, how do you change the note you are holding? How do you retune the fork? The answer lies in the one tool you have that provides constant, real-time feedback on your vibration, your emotions. Your feelings are your personal vibrational barometer. They are not good or bad. They are not rewards or punishments. They are simply indicators. When you feel emotions like fear, envy, desperation, or worry, it is simply your internal guidance system telling you you are currently vibrating at the frequency of lack. You are tuned to the station of scarcity. When you feel emotions like gratitude, peace, joy, or trust, the indicator is telling you you are now vibrating at the frequency of abundance. You are tuned to the station of plenty. The work, then, is not to chase money. The work is to chase the feeling of abundance. And this is crucial. This is not about pasting happy thoughts over a deep-seated feeling of terror. The universe is not fooled by the lipstick you put on a pig. It does not respond to the affirmations you chant with your lips if your stomach is in a knot of fear. It responds to the authentic, dominant, underlying vibration. The task is to learn how to genuinely generate the feeling state of your desires fulfilled before there is any external evidence that they are. This is the great creative act. Let's try this now. Close your eyes. Scan your memory, not for a great triumph, but for a small, simple moment of pure sufficiency. A time you felt utterly safe. A moment you received an unexpected gift and felt a rush of pure gratitude. The feeling of the sun on your skin on a perfect day. A moment you laughed so hard your entire body was filled with joy. Find one of these moments. Do not focus on the story or the details. Focus only on the feeling it produced in your body. Where did you feel it? A warmth in your chest, a relaxation in your shoulders, a lightness in your head. Isolate that pure sensation. That feeling is a taste of the abundance frequency. It is the note you want to learn to play. Now, take that feeling, that tiny seed of resonance, and plant it in the garden of your present moment. Breathe into it. Let that warmth in your chest expand. Use your imagination not to construct detailed images of mansions and cars, but to evoke the feeling of the life you desire. What is the feeling of absolute financial freedom? It is ease. It is a lack of constriction. It is the ability to breathe deeply. It is the feeling of unburdened generosity. What does that feel like in your body right now? Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let your breath deepen. Hold that feeling state. Hum that note with every cell of your being. This is the work. You are manually, consciously recalibrating your tuning fork. To make this a way of life, you must become a ruthless curator of your own vibrational field. Everything you allow into your awareness is a tuning fork that can either pull you back to the old frequency or help you hold the new one. The cynical news you watch, the complaining people you spend time with, the chaotic music you listen to, these all vibrate at the frequency of lack, fear, and powerlessness. They reinforce the old note. The inspiring book you read, the walk in nature, the conversation with a supportive friend, the beautiful music that makes your heart swell, these all vibrate at the frequency of peace, possibility, and abundance. They help you hold the new note. Your attention is your most precious currency. Spend it only on that which attunes you to the reality you wish to create. You do not have to be perfect at this. It is simply a matter of tipping the scales. You have spent years, perhaps decades, spending 99% of your time tuned to the frequency of lack. Your work now is to simply begin to shift that ratio. Can you spend 10% of your day consciously cultivating the feeling of trust? Then 20%. Can you learn to catch yourself in a state of worry and gently, without judgment, choose to pivot to a feeling of gratitude, even for just 60 seconds? At some point, a tipping point is reached. The new frequency becomes your dominant resonance. It becomes your default state. It becomes your home. And when that happens, the universe, by its immutable law, must begin to bring you experiences that match it. The reflection in the mirror must change. Your soul is a radio. For too long, you have been begging the station of scarcity to play a song of peace. It cannot. Its playlist is fixed. The only work, and the entire work, is to consciously and deliberately turn the dial of your own being. Turn it away from the static of fear and worry, and tune it with gentle, persistent intention towards the clear, quiet, beautiful music of the reality you know you are worthy of. At first, the new signal will be faint, but you keep listening for it, you keep feeling for it, and then one day it will come in crystal clear and undeniable. The station of abundance is broadcasting right now. It has always been broadcasting. You do not need to create it. You only need to tune yourself to hear it. This is the art of resonance. This is how you stop being a victim of the reflection and become the source of the broadcast. You have now learned the fundamental law of resonance. You understand that your task is to calibrate your inner being to the frequency of the reality you desire to experience. But what is the instrument you use to perform this sacred tuning? What is the master key that adjusts the dial of your soul, shifting it from the static of scarcity to the clear melody of abundance? We now arrive at the most potent, most misunderstood, and most intimately powerful faculty you possess. We are no longer standing outside the control room. We are stepping inside. We are entering the architect's studio of the universe. We are entering your own magnificent imagination. You have been taught from your earliest days that imagination is the realm of children and poets, a frivolous escape from the real world, a place for fantasy and make-believe to be put aside when one grows up and accepts the hard facts of life. This, my friend, is the single greatest lie that has been perpetuated to keep you feeling powerless. Imagination is not an escape from reality. Imagination is the very womb of reality. It is the fertile, sacred darkness in which all things are conceived before they are born into the light of your physical world. Every chair, every building, every symphony, every act of kindness, every technological marvel, and every financial fortune first existed as a sustained image within a human mind. The world you call real is nothing more than crystallized imagination. It is the hardened artifact of yesterday's sustained daydreams. Imagine your consciousness as a house with two rooms. The outer room is your conscious, waking mind. It is the world of logic, of reason, of analyzing the past and worrying about the future. It is the construction site. The inner room, the master suite, is your subconscious mind. It is the architect's studio. In this quiet, sealed room, there are vast drafting tables, pencils of light, and infinite sheets of pure potential energy. This studio is the only place where true creation ever occurs. Every time you allow a thought or a feeling to dominate your attention, you are in that room, drawing a blueprint. A persistent worry about a bill is not a harmless thought. It is you, the architect, hunched over the table, meticulously drafting a detailed and precise blueprint for more financial lack. A flash of jealous comparison is you, sketching a plan for more separation and competition. The universe, which is the master builder, the construction crew, does not judge the blueprint. It has no opinion. Its only function is to take the design you have finalized with the signature of your feeling and your conviction, and to build it with perfect, unerring accuracy in the outer world. It has no other choice. For years, you have been living your life backwards. You have been living on the construction site, trying to rearrange the bricks of your reality. You complain to the builders when things are not going well. You get angry about the slow progress. You try to force walls to move and foundations to shift. You have been trying to renovate the building from the outside, while every single night you return to the architect's studio and unconsciously hand the builders the exact same, faulty blueprints for the prison of lack you have always known. The work is not on the construction site. The work is in the studio. You must become a conscious architect. So, how does one draw a new blueprint? How does one create with intention? This is a sacred art. It is not idle daydreaming. It is a focused, feeling-filled act of creation. First, you must know what you desire. And be simple. Do not come with a long list. The builder gets confused. Choose one significant desire and find the feeling state it represents. If you desire more money, perhaps the core feeling is security, or freedom, or ease. The goal is to create the feeling of your wish already being fulfilled. And the most effective way to do this is to construct a single, short, static scene that would take place after your prayer has already been answered. This is the secret. You do not imagine the act of receiving. You imagine the state of having received. It is not imagining a check arriving in the mail. That is a process. You want the end result. It is, perhaps, imagining yourself at your desk, looking at your bank statement online, and feeling a profound wave of calm, peaceful relief wash over you. It is not imagining winning a competition. It is imagining a week later, telling a loved one, "Isn't it wonderful? Everything is taken care of." It is not imagining the frantic moment of a business success. It is the quiet feeling of sitting in your favorite chair a month later, with a deep, settled knowing in your bones that you are finally, completely secure. Choose one short, simple scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. The gateway to the architect's studio, the time when the subconscious is most receptive to new plans, is the state akin to sleep. That drowsy, lucid state just before you drift off, or the state you can enter in deep meditation. In this state, the loud, argumentative, conscious mind, the guardian of your current reality, has been quieted. The door to the subconscious, the master builder, is unlocked and open. This is when you enter your scene, and you do not watch it as if it were a film on a screen. That is the old way, the way of the spectator. You must enter the scene. You must become the actor on the stage. You must see the world from within the scene. If you are imagining telling your friend the good news, you must feel the warmth of the coffee cup in your hands. You must see the look on their face from your own perspective. You must hear their joyful response with your own ears. You must use your spiritual senses, your imaginative sight, sound, touch to make the scene real. And now, the final, most crucial step. As you loop this short scene over and over, you must infuse it with feeling. What would it actually feel like if this were true, right now? Would it be a thrill of excitement, a quiet hum of joy, a profound sense of peace, a deep gratitude that brings tears to your eyes? Find that feeling. Cultivate it. Let it saturate your entire being. This feeling is the secret. It is the fire that brings the image to life. It is the ink in the architect's pen. It is the signature of approval on the blueprint. It is the command that says to the master builder, "This one, build this." Once you have successfully captured this feeling state, this inner conviction that it is done, you simply release it. You drop the scene and fall asleep in that state of peaceful assumption. You have impressed the subconscious. You have delivered the new blueprint. Your creative work for the night is finished. You do not dig up the seed in the morning to see if it is growing. You do not worry about the how or the when. The builder is now in charge of the construction. Your job is to go about your day living in the faith of the reality you have created. You must learn to live in the assumption that your wish is fulfilled. When an old thought of worry comes to knock on your door, you do not entertain it. You simply remind yourself, no, that is no longer true. A new blueprint is already in motion. You are living from the end, even as the scaffolding of the old world is still being dismantled around you. The world you see is not solid. It is fluid. It is imagination, poured into the mold of your belief and hardened into fact by your attention. The invitation of this life is to become a master architect, to stop producing blueprints of fear and lack by default, and to begin, with love and intention, to design and feel into being the blueprints of the freedom, security, and abundance that are your birthright. Tonight, when you lay your head down to rest, know that you are not simply ending your day. You are entering the holiest of holies. You are stepping into the silent, powerful studio of the Creator. Do not defile this sacred time with the replays of yesterday's anxieties or the fears of tomorrow's challenges. Use this time for its intended purpose. Use it to create. Dare to imagine a state so wonderful, so beautiful, that your logical mind calls it a fantasy. And then, live in that fantasy in your imagination until it feels more real than the world you see. For what is felt as real in your imagination and sustained there in faith cannot fail to be born in your world. You have stood in the architect's studio. You have learned to wield the divine power of your imagination to draw new blueprints for your life. But now we must understand the nature of the material itself. We must examine the substance you call money, for if you treat a liquid like a solid, you will only ever know frustration. You have been taught that money is a brick, a solid object to be earned, stacked, counted, and guarded. This view necessitates a clenched fist and a fearful heart, for a stack of bricks can always be diminished. Today, we shatter that illusion. We will learn to see money not as a brick, but as a river. And you are not the owner of the bricks, you are the channel for the water. Imagine, high in the unseen mountains of existence, a vast, infinite, and inexhaustible spring. This is the universal source of all supply. It never ceases, it never falters. From this spring, a great and powerful river of abundance flows ceaselessly down through the landscape of reality. This river is meant to nourish everything it touches. Your life, your consciousness, is a sacred channel through which this river is intended to flow. It is not meant to end with you. You are a conduit, not a container. A passageway, not a final destination. The purpose of the river is to flow through you. But what have we been taught to do? Conditioned by the echoes of lack, terrified that the source might one day run dry, we do the most unnatural thing possible. We attempt to build a dam. The bricks of this dam are our fears. The mortar is our scarcity thinking. We say, I must save, I must hoard, I must hold on to what is mine. And so, with great effort, we block the channel and create a reservoir. At first, this feels like security. We stand on our dam and look with pride at the pool of water we have collected. Look at what I have, we say. I am safe. But what happens to water that does not move? What happens to a current that is denied its flow? It becomes stagnant, lifeless. It grows heavy, murky, and breeds the algae of anxiety and the bacteria of decay. The very dam that was built to create security becomes a stagnant pool of worry. Every small leak becomes a source of panic. The water level becomes an object of constant, obsessive scrutiny. The joy of the river is gone, replaced by the grim responsibility of managing a dying pond. Now, imagine a different way. Imagine the one who understands the sacred exchange. They do not build a dam. They see themselves as a holy part of the river's journey. With open hands and an open heart, they allow the current to flow to them. As it enters their channel, it nourishes them. It quenches their thirst, waters their gardens, and gives them life and vitality. It is a joyous receiving, and then, understanding that they are a conduit, they joyfully allow the river to flow onward, out from them and back into the world. It flows out as they pay their bills with gratitude. It flows out as they purchase goods and services that enrich their lives. It flows out as they give generously to others. They do this without fear, because they know they are not the source. They know the spring in the high mountains is infinite. Their only job is to keep their personal channel wide, clear, and open. Because the channel is unobstructed, the source continuously and powerfully replenishes the flow. This channel never runs dry, precisely because it never tries to hold the water. It only ever allows it to pass through. This completely reframes the act of spending. You have been taught that when you spend $1, you have lost $1. The number in your account decreases. This is the grim accounting of the brick stacker. Each transaction is an act of depletion, a small death. It creates pain, resentment, and a feeling of diminishment. But from the river view, the energy view, nothing could be further from the truth. When you release $1, you have lost nothing. You have simply participated in the holy circulation of universal energy. You have blessed the person or business you gave it to with sustenance. You have honored the value of the service or product you received. You have released that packet of energy to continue its journey, to flow through other channels and nourish other lives. It is an act of trust, an act of participation, an act of life. Let this be a new practice for you. The next time you pay a bill, do not do it with a resentful sigh. Hold the bill or look at the screen and take a moment to feel genuine gratitude. Gratitude for the electricity that lit your home and powered your devices. Gratitude for the water that cleansed your body. Gratitude for the home that sheltered you. Bless the money as it leaves. Silently say, I release you with joy and gratitude. Thank you for your service to me. Go and bless all those you touch on your journey. By doing this, you are no longer creating a painful leak in your dam. You are consciously opening a sluice gate, allowing the river to flow, and sending that energy out on a current of positive, abundant resonance. You are maintaining your own frequency of wealth, even in the act of releasing money. This brings us to the great vacuum law of prosperity. Nature, it is said, abhors a vacuum. When you release energy from your life with trust and joy, you are creating a small, energetic void. The universe, in its constant drive for equilibrium, must rush in to fill that empty space. But it does not just fill it to the previous level. Because you released the energy with trust, you widened your channel, and so the universe rushes in with an even greater flow than before. This is why the fearful hoarder always finds their pond shrinking, while the joyful giver always finds their river flowing faster and wider. True, heartfelt generosity is not an expense. It is the most powerful investment in abundance you can possibly make. It is the ultimate declaration of faith in the infinite source. It is telling the universe, I trust you so completely that I can let this go, knowing that even more is on its way. And just as you must learn to release, you must learn to receive. The river flows in two directions, out and in. Many who are on a spiritual path find it easy to give, but deeply uncomfortable to receive. This, too, is a way of damming the river. To receive a gift, a compliment, or even a payment for your services with guilt, awkwardness, or a feeling of unworthiness is to place a blockage at the intake valve of your channel. It constricts the flow. To receive with open, gracious, heartfelt gratitude is to say a resounding yes to the universe. It is to affirm that you are a worthy and willing channel for its blessings. It is to hold up your end of the sacred exchange. Your true financial worth is not measured by the amount of water sitting stagnant in your reservoir. It is measured by the volume and the velocity of the river that can flow through you without obstruction. So, open the gates. Begin to dismantle the dam of fear, one brick at a time. Let go of your fearful grip on the currency you have in your possession. See it not as your possession, but as a temporary guest that you are hosting before it continues its journey. Bless it as it arrives. Bless it as it departs. Trust the river, for its source is infinite, its nature is to flow, and its divine purpose is the nourishment of all of life, and that most certainly includes you. You now understand that you are a channel for the ever-flowing river of universal abundance. You have learned to keep your channel open by trusting the sacred exchange, blessing the energy as it flows both in and out. But now we must learn the secret that not only keeps the channel open, but widens and deepens it, allowing a trickle to become a torrent, and a torrent to become a great, surging flood of well-being. What is this sacred force that transforms the very landscape of your reality? It is the most humble, the most accessible, and the most profoundly powerful of all the spiritual arts. It is the magnetic, creative power of gratitude. Let us be clear. This is not the gratitude you were taught as a chilled, polite, mechanical password, a transactional thank you said to appease an authority figure. That is the gratitude of etiquette. We are speaking of the gratitude of existence. This is not a response, but a cause. It is not a passive acknowledgement of a gift received. It is an active state of being that magnetizes gifts to you. It is the very frequency of receiving. When you are in a state of genuine, heartfelt gratitude, you are a living, breathing, homing beacon for every good and perfect thing that is seeking a place to land. Imagine your consciousness as a plot of land. For many, this inner landscape is dry, rocky, and barren. This is the soil of scarcity. It is a ground hardened by years of complaint, of focusing on what is missing, of comparing and despairing. It is a consciousness that says, I will be happy when a seed of opportunity or a small blessing falls from the sky onto this barren ground, it has nowhere to go. It cannot take root. It is scorched by the sun of cynicism or blown away by the winds of doubt. Now, Imagine the transformative power of gratitude. Every single act of genuine appreciation is like tilling the hard soil. Every heartfelt thank you for what you already have is like mixing in rich, dark compost. Every moment spent feeling blessed is like a gentle, nourishing rain. Gratitude literally changes the composition of your consciousness. It transforms the barren desert into a lush, fertile, and receptive garden. Now, what happens when a seed of abundance, see a single dollar, a kind word, a new idea, a small opportunity lands on this fertile soil? It does not wither. It is welcomed. It immediately sinks its roots deep into the receptive ground, and it begins to grow. And here is the divine mathematics of the soul, the great multiplier effect. In the soil of gratitude, things do not grow linearly. An oak tree is not simply a bigger acorn. It is a magnificent, exponential multiplication of the acorn's potential. In the same way, when you plant a seed of gratitude for the $1 you possess, it does not just attract another dollar. It grows into a tree of financial well-being, a tree that provides shade, drops 1,000 more seeds, and eventually creates an entire forest of prosperity. Gratitude does not add, it multiplies. It is the resonant medium in which miracles are grown. Let us look at the physics of this. When you are in a state of wanting something, you are, by definition, focused on its absence. You are broadcasting a powerful frequency of lack. You are telling the universe and yourself, I do not have this. I am incomplete without this. This creates an energetic gap between you and your desire. Gratitude is the force that closes this gap. When you shift your focus from what you want to what you have, the entire signal changes. By feeling genuine gratitude for the roof over your head, you are broadcasting the frequency of, I am sheltered, I am secure. By feeling gratitude for the food in your pantry, you are broadcasting the frequency of, I am nourished, I am provided for. You are aligning your vibration not with the absence of what you want, but with the presence of what you have. And the great mirror of reality, by law, must reflect back to you more evidence of what you are broadcasting. It hears your song of having, and it rushes to give you more things to have. Scarcity and gratitude cannot coexist in the same moment, just as darkness and light cannot occupy the same space. The instant you introduce a single genuine flame of gratitude, the shadows of lack must recede. It is the ultimate antidote to the anxious, striving energy of the hamster wheel. You cannot be running in a panic of not enough, while you are simultaneously standing still in the profound peace of thank you for what is. This practice must be more than a mental exercise. It must be an embodied, sensory experience. Your task is not to wait for grand miracles to be grateful for. Your task is to become a treasure hunter, a detective of the divine, seeking out the thousands of overlooked riches in your immediate, present moment reality. Let us practice this now. Do not just think, I invite you to feel. Bring your attention to the simple fact of the chair or the surface that is supporting you. It is holding your weight. You are supported. You are held. Can you allow a small wave of genuine gratitude to arise for this simple, solid support? For the stability beneath you. This is wealth. This is security in microcosm. Now, bring your attention to your hands. Look at them. Consider the marvel of engineering that they are, the things they have built, the people they have held, the food they have prepared. For this moment, be in awe of these instruments of creation. Feel a wave of gratitude for your hands. Go deeper. Think of one person in your life who has shown you kindness. It does not have to be a grand gesture, a simple smile, a helping hand, a listening ear. Bring their face to your mind and let your heart swell with genuine gratitude for their existence, for the path they walked alongside yours. Feel that warmth spread through your chest. This is the feeling of connection. This is the frequency of love. This is true riches. The key is to build momentum. One thought of gratitude organically leads to another. Let it become a game. Can you go on a rampage of appreciation? Start with your breath, then your body, then the room you are in, then the people in your life, then the technology allowing you to hear this, then the beauty of the natural world. Let the feeling build, let it swell, until it fills your entire being with a vibrant, humming energy. This is you, actively, powerfully fertilizing the soil of your consciousness. And here is the master's practice. Can you learn to be grateful even for your challenges? This is not about pretending to enjoy pain or hardship. It is a profound recognition that the universe is always conspiring for your growth and expansion. Can you be grateful for the bill that taught you to be more mindful with your resources? Grateful for the heartbreak that cracked your heart open to a deeper capacity for love? Grateful for the failure that stripped away your ego and forced you onto a more authentic path? This is alchemy. Gratitude for the challenges does not deny the pain. It extracts the wisdom. It transforms the poison of resentment into the medicine of growth. It is the final key that unlocks the door to a life where everything, absolutely everything, serves you. Let gratitude be the prayer you offer when you wake, and the blessing you whisper as you fall asleep. Make it the lens through which you view your entire life. For the ancient spiritual texts were not issuing a moral command, they were describing a universal law. To the one who has gratitude, more will be given, and they will have an abundance. From the one who does not have gratitude, even what they have will be taken away. This is not the decree of a punishing God. It is a perfect, clinical description of the law of magnetic resonance. Be grateful now for what is, and watch in awe as the universe rearranges itself to give you even more to be grateful for. You have learned to cultivate the rich magnetic soil of gratitude. By appreciating what you already have, you have begun to send a powerful, coherent signal of having into the universe. This signal, by its very nature, begins to attract new possibilities, new potentials, new desires to you. But here we arrive at a subtle and profound crossroads, a place where many spiritual journeys get ensnared. How do we relate to these new desires that bubble up from within? For in this relationship lies a hidden trap that can turn the most fertile garden back into a barren wasteland. We must now learn the high art of detached desire, the delicate, graceful dance of wanting without needing. First, you must understand that desire itself is holy. Desire is not a sin or a sign of being unspiritual. Desire is the universe seeking to expand and experience more of itself through you. It is the life force itself, pushing towards fuller expression. The initial impulse to create, to experience, to become more, is pure and divine. But a great and tragic alchemy often occurs. The moment that this pure, expansive desire curdles into tight, contractive, desperate need, the entire creative process short-circuits. The magic dies. Imagine your desire is a magnificent, living butterfly, its wings shimmering with all the colors of your dream. With an open heart, you invite this butterfly to land on your outstretched palm. You admire its beauty. You feel the thrill and joy of its presence. You hold a clear and loving intention for it to be with you. Your hand is relaxed, open, a welcoming platform. This is pure, creative desire. It is a state of allowing, of invitation. But then, the old scarcity programming, the ghost from the hamster wheel, whispers in your ear. What if it flies away? You must have it. Your happiness depends on it. You need it. And in that instant of fear, your open palm convulses into a clenched fist. You lunge to capture the butterfly, to possess it, to ensure it can never leave. And in that violent, fearful act, one of two things happens. Either you crush the delicate creature, destroying the very beauty you longed for with the brute force of your own neediness, or The butterfly, sensing the sudden violent shift in the air pressure of your energy, flits away a microsecond before your fist can close. Your neediness has repelled the very thing you sought to possess. The lesson of creation is this: your desires are meant to be held in an open hand, not a clenched fist. The energy of pure wanting is expansive and magnetic. The energy of desperate needing is contractive and repellent. Let us examine the energetics of this. When you are in a state of needing something, what is the core frequency you are broadcasting? Beneath the surface level want, the dominant vibration is, "I do not have." It is a declaration of your own incompletion. It is a signal that says, "I am not whole without this external thing." Your energy field becomes chaotic, frantic, grasping. It is the energy of the hungry ghost, the black hole. And the universe, the great mirror, hears this desperate song of, "I am not enough as I am." And it can only, by law, reflect back to you more experiences that confirm your state of not being enough. It will keep the thing you need just out of your reach, so you can continue to be in the state of needing it. Now, consider the alternative. When you hold a pure desire with detachment, you are operating from a place of profound wholeness and trust. You have cultivated your sense of intrinsic value. You are the diamond. You have cultivated your gratitude for what is your soil is fertile. From this place of fullness, your broadcast is completely different. It says, "I am already whole. I am already provided for. I am already at peace." And from this state of wholeness, it would be a joyous and wonderful adventure to also experience this new creation. But my peace is not dependent upon it. This is an energy of sovereignty, of play, of partnership with the universe, not dictatorship. It is a calm, coherent, and powerfully attractive signal. You are telling the universe that you trust its timing, you trust its wisdom, and you trust that only what is for your highest good will be drawn to you. You have made your happiness in the here and now your priority, and you have released the outcome to a higher power. This may sound abstract, but it can be intensely practical. The art is to become crystal clear on the what and the deep, emotional why of your desire, and then to completely surrender the how, the when, and the where to the infinite intelligence of the universe. You, as the architect, go into your studio and draw the beautiful blueprint with feeling and clarity, but you do not then follow the master builder to the construction site and stand over their shoulder, micromanaging how they mix the concrete or demanding they work faster. That is the energy of distrust. You do your sacred work in the studio, and then you let the builder do theirs. To aid you in this surrender, there is a sacred clause, a master key that unlocks the prison of attachment. With every intention you set, with every scene you create in your imagination, add this silent postscript. This, or something even more wonderful, for my highest good and the highest good of all concerned. Let those words sink in. This, or something better. This simple phrase is a revolutionary act of humility and trust. It releases your ego's death grip on a specific form. Perhaps the thing you think you want is actually too small for you. Perhaps your desire for a small stream is preventing the universe from giving you the ocean. This clause prevents you from limiting yourself. It says to the universe, "I have my preferences, but I trust your infinite wisdom more than my own limited view. Surprise me, delight me. I am open." The time between setting an intention and its arrival in your physical world is the ultimate spiritual training ground. This is the test. Can you be happy before the evidence arrives? Can you find your peace in the hallway while you wait for the new door to open? If your state of well-being is contingent on the manifestation, you are still in a state of need, and you are pushing it away. But if you can genuinely find your joy in the present moment, if you can use the waiting period to deepen your gratitude and your trust, you have passed the test with flying colors. You have proven to the universe that you are a being who is sustained by your connection to Source, not by external circumstances. And paradoxically, that is the very state of being that magnetizes your desire to you with breathtaking speed. True power is not in grasping, it is in allowing. It is the quiet, sovereign confidence of knowing that what is truly meant for you can never be lost, and what is not meant for you was never yours to keep. So, love your desires. They are the seeds of your future self. Water them with your attention and your imagination, but do not chain yourself to them. Hold them in an open, loving hand. Know that your peace, your holiness, and your joy are here, now. They are not waiting for you in a future accomplishment. Find your heaven in this moment, and watch as heaven moves heaven and earth to manifest around you. Set your beautiful intentions. Release them to the cosmos with the trusting prayer, this or something better. And then, return your focus to the only thing you will ever have control over, the grace, the gratitude, and the peace of this sacred present moment. You have learned the high art of the open hand, holding your desires with the gentle, trusting grace of detached allowance. You understand that a clenched fist can only crush the butterfly of your dreams. But now we must address the state of the hand itself. For if your hand is open, yet already full of stones and trinkets you have been clinging to from your past, there is no room for the butterfly of your new desire to land. Before the universe can give you what you have so beautifully imagined, you must first make space for it. We now enter the sacred, clarifying, and profoundly creative power of the void. There is a fundamental law of physics and metaphysics that states nature abhors a vacuum. Where there is empty space, the universe, in its infinite and creative intelligence, rushes to fill it. The problem has never been that the universe is withholding its abundance from you. The problem, for most of us, is that there is simply no empty space in our lives for it to place its gifts. Our lives are already full. Imagine your life, your entire energetic field, as a beautiful, ornate vessel, a cup. Over the years, this cup has been filled to the very brim. It is filled with the stagnant water of old beliefs that no longer serve you. It is filled with the thick sludge of resentments and grievances you have refused to release. It is filled with the physical clutter of possessions you neither use nor love, each one an anchor to a past version of yourself. It is filled with the heavy weight of unfinished business, unresolved debts, and unspoken words. Your cup is full, and so you stand before the infinite, thundering waterfall of universal abundance, praying for more, praying for fresh, living water, while your cup is already overflowing with the stale contents of yesterday. The universe sees your full cup, and in its great wisdom, it honors your state. It says, "This vessel is already complete. I cannot add more without violating its integrity. I cannot pour fresh wine into a cup already full of vinegar." The most powerful and practical spiritual act you can perform when you desire something new in your life is not to ask for more, but to have the courage to begin emptying your cup. This clearing is not a chore. It is a sacred ritual. It is a declaration of faith. It is a collaboration with the creative forces of life. And it happens on 3 interconnected levels. The first, and easiest place to begin, is the physical level. Look around your personal space, your home, your office, your car. Every single object you possess holds an energetic signature. It is either contributing to your vitality and expansion, or it is draining it. Possessions that you do not use, do not love, or that hold negative memories are not neutral bystanders. They are concrete, physical representations of stagnant energy. They are anchors to the past, holding you in old patterns. A cluttered home is the outward manifestation of a cluttered mind and a constricted flow of abundance. To clear your physical space is to send a powerful, undeniable signal to the universe. I am making space. I am ready for something new. Do not be overwhelmed. Start small. Go to your closet right after listening to this. Find one single item of clothing you have not worn in over a year. Hold it in your hands. Thank it for its service, for the way it made you feel, for the memories attached to it. And then, consciously release it. Donate it, sell it, or if it is beyond use, discard it. Feel the small, clean space it leaves behind. This is not just an empty space on a hanger. This is a vacuum you have just created in your reality. Go to your desk and clear one pile of old papers. Go to your wallet and clean it out. Remove the old receipts, the expired coupons, the faded business cards. Each act, no matter how small, is a prayer in motion. Hoarding things just in case is a deep-seated declaration of your belief in a future of lack. Releasing things you do not need is a powerful act of faith, a statement that you trust the future will provide for you. The second level of clearing is financial. Your financial life too can be filled with clutter and stagnation. Debt, particularly debt that is carried with shame, resentment, or a sense of victimhood, is a heavy energetic chain that binds you to past decisions and past energies. It is a constant vibrational broadcast of I owe, I am in deficit. It is impossible to feel truly expansive and abundant while this subconscious signal is running on a loop. You may not be able to clear all your debt today, but you can take one powerful step to shift the energy. You can gather all your bills and organize them. You can create a clear plan. You can choose one debt and pay $1 more than the minimum payment. This one act of conscious engagement is revolutionary. It shifts the energy from passive dread to active conscious stewardship. It tells the universe, I am no longer willing to reside in the energy of deficit. I am taking command. Begin to track your finances, not from a place of miserly restriction, but from a place of mindful, loving awareness. Simply observing the flow of energy you call money, without judgment, brings the light of consciousness to it. And consciousness is always the first step to healing any pattern. The third, and deepest, level of clearing is emotional and mental. This is the heaviest sludge at the bottom of your cup. A grudge, a resentment, an unwillingness to forgive another person. Most importantly, yourself is like choosing to drink a small amount of poison every single day. It fills your sacred vessel with toxic, stagnant energy that makes it impossible for the living water of abundance to enter. You cannot pray for healing while you are actively choosing to hold on to poison. Forgiveness is not about condoning another's actions. It is not for them. Forgiveness is the ultimate act of selfish self-love. It is you standing up and declaring, I will no longer carry the heavy weight of your mistake. I am setting myself free. It is you deliberately pouring the poison out of your own cup so there is finally room for peace to enter. Who do you need to forgive? You do not have to speak to them. You do not have to reconcile. You simply have to decide in the quiet of your own heart, I release this, I am done. And what about the old stories you tell yourself? The mental clutter. I'm not good with money. I'm always overlooked. Good things don't happen to me. These are worn-out records, skipping in the grooves of your mind, filling the space with their discordant noise. Each time you catch yourself playing one of these old songs, you must consciously lift the needle. You must say, thank you for sharing, but that is no longer my story, and you release it. When you first begin this sacred work of emptying, the void that is created can feel uncomfortable, even frightening. You are accustomed to the fullness of clutter and chaos. The newfound silence in your mind, the empty space in your closet, may feel like lack. You must resist the urge to immediately fill it with more noise and more stuff. You must learn to fall in love with the void. This emptiness is not a deficit. It is pure potential. It is the fertile darkness of the womb before conception. It is the holy silence before the first note of the symphony. It is the pristine white canvas before the first stroke of the master's brush. Stand in this creative void with joyful, thrilling anticipation, for it is the most powerful and receptive place in the entire universe. The question for your life today is not, what new thing can I get? The question is, what old thing can I release? What possession, what debt, what grudge, what outdated story can you let go of right now to make room for the miracle that is patiently trying to find its way to you? Do not be afraid of the emptiness you create. The void is not your enemy. It is your greatest collaborator. Bravely empty your cup and then watch in silent wonder as the universe, in its boundless generosity, rushes to fill it to overflowing. You have bravely begun the sacred work of emptying your cup. You have started to clear the physical, financial, and emotional clutter, creating a pristine, fertile void. This emptiness is not a lack. It is a space of pure potential. Now, we must learn how to consciously plant the seeds of our new reality into this receptive soil. The seeds we will use are not physical, they are vibrational. They are the most common and yet most profoundly powerful creative instruments you possess. They are your words. You have been raised in a world that has taught you that words are for description. You look at your reality and you use words to report on what you see. It is a gloomy day. I am broke. This is so difficult. This is the powerless use of language, the language of a victim, a reporter on the scene of their own life. I am here to tell you that this is a fundamental reversal of the truth. Words were not designed to describe reality. Words were designed to create reality. Every word you speak is a command. Every sentence is a decree. Every conversation is an act of creation. In the ancient mystery schools, it was understood that specific words, spoken with focused intention and deep feeling, could literally alter the fabric of reality. They called this practice the science of incantation, the art of the spell, the wielding of words of power. This was not superstition. It was a deep and practical understanding of vibrational physics. Every word you speak, whether thought or uttered aloud, carries a unique and specific frequency. That frequency is a command, a blueprint sent out into the resonant field of the universe. Your everyday casual speech is a constant, unbroken spell that is continuously enchanting your world into its current form. The life you are living right now is the result of the words you have been consistently speaking. There is a faithful and powerful servant who lives within you. This is your subconscious mind, the master builder who receives the blueprints from the architect's studio. This servant is infinitely powerful and absolutely literal. It does not understand jokes. It does not understand irony or sarcasm. It only understands direct commands. When you repeatedly say, with feeling, "I am so clumsy," your subconscious mind does not question it. It bows its head and says, "Yes, Master, your command is to be clumsy. I will now arrange for you to trip, to spill things, to stumble, to fulfill your decree." When you sigh and say, "I can just never get a break," your faithful servant hears a sacred order. "Yes, Master. The command is for breaks to be withheld. I will ensure that opportunities pass you by and doors close before you reach them." Your subconscious mind is only ever trying to obey you. The tragedy is that you have been giving it terrible orders. To reclaim your power, you must become a conscious caster of spells. You must learn the anatomy of a powerful affirmation. The first rule is that all powerful affirmations must be in the present tense. The subconscious mind knows only the eternal now. An affirmation like, "I will be abundant," is worse than useless. It is a command to perpetually keep abundance in the future. You are decreeing a state of future wanting, so you will always be one day away from your good. The command must be, "I am abundant. I am prosperous. I am whole." You are not predicting a future. You are commanding a present reality into being. The second rule is that words must be infused with positive emotion. An affirmation spoken with a flat, mechanical voice is a dead seed. It has no life force. The feeling you generate as you speak is the fertile soil that allows the word to take root. It is the signature on the architect's blueprint that validates the command. Before you declare, "I am wealthy," take a moment, close your eyes. Imagine the feeling of wealth. What is it? Is it the feeling of profound peace, of absolute freedom, of joyful generosity, of safety and security? Generate that feeling in the center of your chest first, and then speak the word from that feeling state. The word becomes the vehicle that carries the vibration of the feeling out into the universe. The third, and most important rule, concerns the two most powerful words in any language: I am. Whatever follows these two words is a direct command to the deepest level of your being and to the universe itself. In the ancient texts, I am is the name of God. It is the name of the creative power that lives in you. You must stop using this sacred name carelessly. To say, "I am so tired," "I am sick," "I am broke," is a form of spiritual blasphemy. You are attaching the infinite creative power of I am to a state of limitation. You are commanding your faithful servant to create weariness, sickness, and lack. You must become a fierce guardian at the gateway of your mind and your mouth. Scrutinize every sentence that begins with I aim. Does it serve the reality you wish to create? If not, do not let it pass. Fourth, you must always focus on what you want, not on what you wish to avoid. The subconscious mind does not process negatives effectively. If you say, "I don't want to be in debt," the subconscious mind hears the loudest, most emotionally charged word in that sentence: debt. It receives the command, debt. Instead of affirming what you are not, you must decree what you are. The powerful affirmation is, "I am financially free," or "My income expands to meet all my desires and more," or "I am a master of money, and it is a joyful tool for my creative expression." Become an observer of your own language for a single day. Listen to the casual curses you cast upon yourself. "Oh, this traffic is killing me. My boss is a nightmare. I'm dying for a cup of coffee." You believe these are harmless figures of speech. They are not. They are low-grade, persistent spells that instruct your reality to be a place of struggle, fear, and torment. You are weaving a world of limitation with the threads of your own careless words. If you find that an I am statement feels like too great a lie from where you are standing now, there is a bridge. The bridge is the phrase, "I choose." If you are in a state of anxiety and saying, "I am peaceful," feels false and creates resistance, you can instead declare, "I choose to feel peace now. I choose to focus on solutions. I choose to believe that I am supported." This reclaims your power. It acknowledges your current state but declares your new direction. It is a powerful first step in turning the great ship of your consciousness. Create a new ritual. Let it be your first act upon waking. Before you check your phone, before you let the world's chaos in, stand before a mirror. Look into your own eyes, the windows to your Suland. Speak your new reality into being. Speak your decrees with feeling and conviction. I am whole, perfect, strong, loving, harmonious, and happy. I am a magnet for divine inspiration and infinite abundance. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Write your affirmations down. The physical act of writing further solidifies the command. And when the outer world, the old building under demolition, presents you with evidence that contradicts your new decreeable, a rejection, a challenge, you do not falter. You look at the old reality and you calmly and firmly restate your new law. I see that, but it is old news. My truth is that I am always provided for. You are a master enchanter who was hypnotized into believing you were a mere mortal, a spectator to your own life. You have been casting spells of limitation by default. The invitation now is to pick up the powerful wand of your language and wield it with conscious, deliberate, creative intent. Stop cursing your life with careless complaints and start blessing it with powerful, loving decrees. Your word is law in the kingdom of your reality. What law will you speak forth today? Will you continue to decree the old, tired laws of struggle and lack? Or will you have the courage to stand as the sovereign of your own soul and speak the new law of ease, grace, joy, and boundless abundance into being? Speak it, feel it, and become it. For as you decree, so shall it be done. You are now learning to speak the new language of reality. You are beginning to wield the creative power of your words, to cast spells of abundance with your intentional I am decrees. This is the language of the conscious mind, the architect, but there is a deeper, older, and far more honest language that you must now learn to understand and to trust. It is a language that was with you long before your first word, and it will be with you after your last. It is the silent, infallible language of your own physical body. For your body is not merely a vehicle to carry your brain from one place to another. It is a living, breathing, exquisitely sensitive barometer, constantly and perfectly reporting on your alignment with truth, with abundance, and with your soul. Your mind, for all its brilliance, is a masterful liar. It is a storyteller, a spinner of tales. It can rationalize any fear into a sensible precaution. It can justify any limitation as a pragmatic reality. It is filled with the echoes of your parents' warnings, the ghosts of your past failures, and the projected anxieties of an imagined future. The mind lives everywhere but the here and now. But your body is different. Your body knows only this present moment, and in the purity of the now, it cannot lie. It is the ultimate truth teller. Imagine your physical body is a finely tuned, highly sensitive barometer. It is not designed to create the weather of your life, only to report on it with perfect accuracy. The needle of this barometer is the constellation of your physical sensations. When you entertain a thought of scarcity, when you consider a decision that is out of alignment with your spirit's true path, the barometer gives a clear and immediate reading. The needle swings towards stormy. You feel this reading as a sudden tightness in your chest, a familiar cold knot forming in your stomach, an unconscious clenching in your jaw, or a subtle tension in your neck and shoulders. Your breath becomes shallow, almost imperceptible. These are not random physical symptoms of stress. They are precise data points. They are your body's sophisticated guidance system whispering to you, warning. The current thought form, the current path being considered, is out of resonance with your authentic self. This way leads to contraction. Conversely, when you entertain a thought of trust, of possibility, of love, when you consider a decision that resonates with your soul's desire for expansion, the barometer's needle glides smoothly toward clear and calm. You feel this reading as a spontaneous deepening of your breath, a conscious or unconscious relaxation in your shoulders, as if a weight has been lifted, a warmth spreading through your solar plexus, a feeling of lightness, of openness, of expansion. This is your body's clear and unmistakable signal that says, yes, this is the way. This thought is true for you. This decision is in alignment. Move in this direction. Think of it also as a compass. Your body is the compass, and your true north is your authentic, joyful, abundant self. Actions and thoughts that are rooted in fear, lack, and obligation will make the needle of your compass spin erratically or point directly south. You will feel scattered, drained, and heavy. Actions and thoughts rooted in trust, love, and inspiration will cause the needle to settle, pointing steadily and peacefully toward your true north. You will feel centered, energized, and clear. For years, you have been taught to think through your important decisions, especially financial ones. You have been told to make lists of pros and cons, to analyze the data, to consult the experts. This is the exclusive work of the lying mind. From this day forward, I invite you to engage in a new process. I invite you to learn to feel through your decisions. Before you say yes to that new job or project, before you make that investment, before you commit to that significant purchase, I want you to pause the relentless chatter of the mind and for a moment simply feel. Let us try a short practice. Bring to mind a financial decision you are currently contemplating. It could be large or small. Hold it gently in your awareness. Now, imagine you have chosen option A, D, O not. Analyze the consequences. Simply step into the imaginative reality of having already made that choice. You have said yes. It is done. Now, instantly, bring your full awareness into your physical body. Start with your throat. Does it feel open or tight? Move to your chest. Does it feel expansive or constricted? Scan your solar plexus, the area just above your navicle. Is there a knot of dread or a feeling of calm, settled power? Notice your breath. Is it held high in your chest, or is it flowing deep into your belly? Be an impartial scientist of your own inner sensations. Just gather the data. Now, take a cleansing breath and release that option completely. Let it go. Come back to neutral. And now, imagine you have chosen option B. Again, no analysis, no story. Just step into the reality of having chosen it. It is done. And immediately, go back to your internal scan. Throat, chest, solar plexus, breath. What is the reading on the barometer now? Is the feeling lighter, heavier, more expansive, more contractive? Your body knows the answer. Your body is telling you everything you need to know. That feeling of expansion, openness, lightness, and a deep breath is your body's resounding yes. It is a full-bodied, cellular confirmation of alignment. The feeling of contraction, tightness, heaviness, and a shallow breath is your body's clear and unequivocal number. You must learn to honor this wisdom. You must learn to trust this guidance, even when, and I say especially, when it directly contradicts what your logical mind is trying to tell you. Your mind may say a certain path is safe or sensible, but if your body is screaming no through tension and dread, trust the body. It has access to a level of intelligence far beyond your mind's limited calculations. Furthermore, your body is not just a receiver of information, it is a powerful broadcaster. It is the tuning fork itself. When you are in your architect's studio imagining your wish fulfilled, the goal is to create the feeling of that reality in your body. You are training the cells of your body to know what abundance feels like. You are creating a cellular memory of a future event. When your body has memorized the physical sensation of peace, security, and ease, it will become your unconscious guide, constantly steering you towards people, places, and opportunities that match that memorized feeling. This is why conscious relaxation is a profound spiritual practice. You cannot be in a state of physical tension and a vibrational state of abundance simultaneously. They are mutually exclusive frequencies. Right now, as you listen, consciously drop your shoulders away from your ears, unclench your jaw, soften the tiny muscles around your eyes. Take one slow, deep breath all the way into your belly. These are not just simple relaxation techniques. These are deliberate acts of vibrational tuning. You are manually adjusting the frequency of your tuning fork from the note of stress to the note of peace. So, stop living your life from the neck up, trapped in the noisy labyrinth of your thoughts. Come home to your body. Inhabit your full, glorious, intelligent being. Let your body be your guru, your infallible consultant, your most trusted friend. Before you speak the important words, before you make the crucial decision, before you take the irreversible action, pause. Stop everything. Take a breath. Drop your awareness out of your head and into your heart, into your gut, and ask your body, what is the truth of this for me? It will answer you, not in words, but in the clear, undeniable language of physical sensation. Trust this language, honor it above all other forms of guidance, and it will lead you, with unwavering and loving precision, all the way home to the wholeness and abundance that are your eternal birthright. You are now learning to listen to the deep, silent wisdom of your body. You are using its feelings of expansion and contraction as an infallible compass, guiding you toward your true north. From this newfound place of inner listening, a completely new way of engaging with the world becomes possible. We must now turn our attention to one of the most pervasive, celebrated, and exhausting illusions of modern life, the illusion of effort. It is time to dismantle the cult of the hustle. It is time to learn the profound and liberating difference between the frantic, draining energy of anxious striving and the quiet, elegant potency of inspired action. You have been raised and indoctrinated into a cult. It is the cult of effort, the religion of the grind. This cult teaches that your value is directly proportional to your level of exhaustion. It glorifies burnout as a badge of honor and treats sleep as a weakness. It whispers into your ear from every corner of society that if you are not constantly pushing, struggling, forcing, and striving, you are lazy, you are falling behind, and you will ultimately fail. This belief system is a prison for the soul. It is designed to keep you running on the hamster wheel, so breathless and so bone-tired that you never have the energy to question the nature of the cage itself. The great lie at the heart of this cult is that force equals power. That resistance is a sign you are doing something important, that pushing against the grain is how you succeed. This is the brute force model of reality, and it is profoundly inefficient, deeply out of alignment with the graceful, intelligent way the universe actually operates. Let us return to the image of the great river of life. The destination you desire, abundance, peace, fulfillment, is downstream. The powerful, silent current of the universe is already flowing in that direction, gently but irresistibly pulling everything toward the ocean of well-being. But you, having been taught by the cult of effort, believe that you must earn your passage. You believe the journey must be hard. So you turn your small boat around to face upstream, and you begin to row with all your might against the massive, unyielding current. Your muscles burn, sweat stings your eyes. Your heart pounds not with joy, but with the frantic anxiety of the struggle. You are moving, yes, but every inch of progress is a monumental, soul-crushing battle. This is the energy of anxious striving. It is born from the core belief that the universe is either indifferent or actively hostile to your desires, and that you must impose your will upon it through sheer, relentless force. Now, imagine what happens when you simply stop. You lay down the heavy oars. You take a deep, shuddering breath. In the sudden silence, you allow the river's current to gently turn your boat around so that it is finally facing downstream. And you feel it. For the first time, you feel the immense, silent power of the river itself, now carrying you forward. The movement is effortless. It is graceful. You are traveling faster than you ever did when you were rowing against it. But now there is no strain. There is only a quiet sense of collaboration. Your job now is not to power the boat. The river is providing the power. Your job is simply to steer. You gently place an oar in the water to navigate around a floating log. You use a light touch to guide yourself toward a channel that looks clear and promising. The actions you take are small, precise, and calm. They feel light, they feel intuitive, they often feel joyful. This is inspired action. It is born from the profound understanding that the universe is intelligent, benevolent, and already carrying you toward your highest good. Your only job is to listen, to trust, and to cooperate with the flow. You must learn to recognize the feeling of these two different energies in your own life. Anxious striving always feels heavy. It feels forced. It comes with a sense of resistance, like you are pushing a boulder uphill. It is draining. After the action, you feel depleted. It is born from a sense of urgency and fear, a feeling that if you don't do it, something terrible will happen. Anxious striving is a product of the head. It is your mind telling you what you should do, what you have to do. Inspired action, on the other hand, always feels light. It feels easy, almost effortless. It often comes with a sense of flow, where time seems to disappear. It is energizing. After the action, you often feel more alive than before. It is born from a sense of calm, curiosity, and quiet knowing. It is not urgent. It is simply present. Inspired action is a product of the body and the soul. It is a gentle pull from your gut, a quiet whisper from your heart that says, "This feels like the next right thing." This leads to a radical and powerful practice, the sacred pause. In a world that worships action, the most spiritually advanced and effective action you can often take is to do nothing at all, to consciously choose to wait, to listen, to allow the currents to shift and the path to become clear. The anxious mind screams in terror at the thought of inaction. It yells, "You must do something, anything, just keep moving." But the wise soul knows that action born from panic only ever creates more tangled, chaotic results. To have the courage to pause when you are uncertain, to wait for the light, clear, joyful impulse before you move, is an act of supreme trust in the river. This is not laziness. Laziness is the avoidance of action out of apathy or fear. The sacred pause is the embrace of stillness out of wisdom and faith. It is you trusting that the master builder is at work and refraining from interfering. So how do you cultivate this new way of being? You start by changing your mornings. Instead of waking up and immediately writing a long, overwhelming to-do list that fills your heart with dread list for the frantic rower, I invite you to simply set an intention for your day. Today, I am open to inspiration. Today, I will follow the feeling of lightness. Today, my only job is to notice and act upon the next, most obvious, easy step. You do not need to see the entire map of the river. The anxious rower tries to plan for every bend and rapid. The wise navigator, the steerer, only needs to see the next 20 feet of water ahead. Throughout your day, gently ask yourself this question: what is the next, most simple, most obvious and lightest step I can take? Sometimes the answer will be to make that phone call you've been dreading, but suddenly it feels easy. Sometimes the answer will be to go for a walk in nature. Sometimes it will be to drink a glass of water, to stretch, or to read a chapter of a book. Trust the small, simple, gentle nudges. They are the whispers of the universe, guiding your hand on the rudder. Follow what feels like play. Follow what sparks your genuine curiosity. The universe often hides its most important clues inside the things that bring you a sense of joy and wonder. Your joy is not a distraction from your work. It is the current itself, guiding you home. So please, I implore you, lay down the heavy oars of anxious striving. You were never meant to fight the river. Have the profound courage to turn your boat around and trust the current that has been trying to carry you all along. Your only job is to steer with the light, joyful touch of inspired action. The river knows the way to the great ocean of abundance. It has always known the way. Release the toxic belief that your exhaustion is your currency. It is not. Your joy is your currency. Your ease is your power. Your alignment is your true, inexhaustible wealth. Have the courage to do less, and watch in quiet amazement as you achieve more than you ever thought possible. For you are not a galley slave, rowing against an unforgiving tide. You are a master navigator, a sovereign being, dancing in perfect harmony with the divine and powerful flow of life itself. You have now learned to lay down the heavy oars of anxious striving. You are beginning to trust the gentle, powerful current of the river of life, steering with the light touch of inspired action. As you learn to cooperate with this divine flow, we must now explore one of the most powerful and direct ways to influence its speed and its volume. We must turn our attention to the sacred law of circulation, the immutable karma of wealth. It is time to embrace the divine paradox that lies at the heart of all prosperity. To truly and abundantly receive, you must first learn to joyfully and unconditionally give. In the old, crumbling paradigm of lack, the one you were raised in, the act of giving is always framed as a loss. It is a subtraction from a finite and precarious pool of resources. You have $10, you give away $5, and now you are diminished. You have $5 less. This is the grim and joyless mathematics of the prison. Giving from this place out of guilt, a sense of heavy obligation, or a hidden desire for recognition is an energetically dead transaction. It does not complete the circuit, it merely drains the battery. You give with a clenched heart, and the universe registers only the clenching, not the gift. In the new paradigm of abundance, the paradigm you are now choosing to inhabit, giving is never a loss. It is the most powerful investment you can make in the universal flow. It is the ultimate declaration of trust. It is the sacred exhale that makes the next full, deep inhale not only possible, but inevitable. You cannot breathe in if you are constantly holding your breath. In the same way, you cannot truly receive if you are unwilling to release. Imagine a farmer who is ruled by fear. He stands in his field holding a small, precious bag of seeds. He knows that if he plants these seeds, his bag will be empty. The thought of having an empty bag, even for a short time, fills him with terror. What if the seeds don't grow? What if a storm comes? He clutches the bag tightly to his chest. He counts the seeds every day. He guards them. And in the end, he starves to death, clutching a full bag of dormant, useless seeds. This is the quiet tragedy of the hoarder, the one who fears the flow. Now, imagine a different farmer, a farmer who lives in trust. He too has a small bag of seeds, but he does not focus on the temporary emptiness of the bag. He focuses on the infinite potential of the rich, dark, fertile earth before him. With a joyful and trusting heart, he walks his field, casting his seeds into the soil. He releases them, he lets them go. For a time, his bag is indeed empty, but he does not panic. He trusts the process, he trusts the soil, he trusts the sun, he trusts the rain, and he trusts the invisible intelligence of life itself. And what does he receive in return for his act of releasing? Does he simply get his original seeds back? Number. The universe does not operate on a one-to-one return. He receives a magnificent, thousand-fold harvest. For every single seed he so bravely planted, a whole plant has grown, and that plant has produced hundreds of new seeds. His act of giving, his courageous release of what he had, did not result in subtraction. It resulted in breathtaking, exponential multiplication. This is the law. This is the karma of wealth. To give is to plant. The universe, however, responds not to the mechanics of the act itself, but to the energy behind the act. The intention, the feeling, is everything. To give $10 with a resentful heart, with the underlying thought of, "I can't really afford this, but I should," sends a powerful signal of lack and limitation into the field. The universe hears the feeling, not the gesture, and can only send you more experiences of not being able to afford it. But to give a single dollar, a single coin, with a joyful and expansive heart that says, "I am so abundant, I am so provided for, that I can joyfully share what I have," sends a thunderous signal of abundance and trust. The universe hears this feeling of fullness, and, by law, it must match it, bringing you more circumstances and resources that evoke that same feeling. The amount is utterly irrelevant. The sincerity of your feeling of abundance is all that matters. When you give with joy, you are performing a powerful act of magic. You are creating a vacuum in the physical realm while simultaneously filling your energetic field with the high-frequency vibrations of generosity, trust, and love. And the universe, which abhors a physical vacuum and adores a resonant frequency, has no choice but to rush in and flood that void with physical, tangible resources that are a perfect match for the beautiful vibration you are emitting. This sacred act of planting is not limited to money. In fact, some of the most potent seeds you can sow cost you nothing. Perhaps the most precious resource you possess is your pure, undivided, present moment attention. When you truly listen to another human being without planning your response, without checking your phone, without letting your mind wander, you are giving them a priceless gift of validation. You are planting a seed of connection and love. Look for the good in others and speak it aloud. This is the practice of giving praise. Compliment a stranger on their smile. Acknowledge a colleague for their hard work. Thank the person who serves you your coffee. You are planting seeds of worthiness and joy in the garden of the world, and that harvest will surely find its way back to you. Share what you know. If you have a skill, offer to teach it. If you have found a solution to a problem, share it freely. Do not hoard your wisdom. Wisdom, like the river, becomes stagnant when it is not allowed to flow. And what of the things you can release? Giving your forgiveness, as we have discussed, is a profound gift to yourself that clears your channel. Giving away possessions you no longer need is a powerful act of making space. And never underestimate the power of giving a simple, genuine smile to someone who looks like they are having a hard day. You may be planting a seed of hope that literally saves them. There is an ancient spiritual technology for harnessing this law, a practice called tithing. The principle is to consistently and joyfully give a set portion of all that you receive back to the source of your spiritual inspiration and nourishment. This is not a tax or a debt to be paid to a fearsome God. It is a conscious, joyful, and strategic act of priming the pump. It is a physical demonstration of your understanding that you are not the source of your supply, but merely a channel for it. It is an act of supreme faith that keeps your channel wide open. Your source can be any person, place, or organization that feeds your cellular spiritual center, a beloved teacher, an artist whose work uplifts you, a writer whose words inspire you, a cause that makes your heart sing. By giving back to the very places that help you remember the truth of your abundance, you ensure their vitality, and you deepen your own inextricable connection to the universal flow. So I invite you now to stop seeing giving as a loss. See it as the sacred act of planting. Do not be the fearful farmer, dying of thirst while guarding a bag of seeds. Have the courage and the profound wisdom to become a joyful sower. Go through your day actively looking for opportunities to give, not from a place of grim duty, but from a place of exuberant play. Give a compliment, give your full attention, give $1, give a smile. For with every single act of heartfelt giving, you are sending a clear and powerful declaration to the universe. You are saying, I have more than enough, my supply is infinite, I live in trust. And the universe, which is but a mirror to your own beautiful soul, will hear your decree, and it will echo back, yes, you do, you are. And so, an even greater harvest shall be given unto you. You have learned to plant the seeds of your desire in the fertile soil of gratitude. You are watering them with your focused intention and tending to them with the light touch of inspired action. The cosmic law dictates that a harvest is now inevitable. The abundance you have set in motion is growing towards you, moving through time and space to find you. But this brings us to a crucial, and for many, a completely overlooked question. A question that may hold the final hidden key to unlocking the floodgates. Are you truly ready to receive the harvest you have prayed for? For we have spent much time dismantling the fear of lack. We must now turn and face its secret, more powerful twin, the subconscious fear of having. You have been praying for rain to come to your parched land. You have performed the rain dance of affirmation. You have made the offerings of inspired action and joyful giving. In the distance, the clouds of providence have begun to gather. The sky darkens with the promise of a downpour. But now, I ask you to look down at what you are holding in your hands. What is the vessel you have prepared to catch this rain? Are you standing with a vast open reservoir, dug deep into the earth, ready to receive a life-changing deluge? Or are you holding a tiny, fragile thimble? The universe, in its infinite love and generosity, wants to send you a flood, but it looks upon your tiny container and it knows that a flood would overwhelm you, shatter you, and sweep you away. So, in its wisdom, it sends you only a single, gentle drop, an amount that perfectly fits the thimble you are holding. And you, looking at this single drop, cry out, "Why has the universe given me so little?" All the while failing to realize that the universe is actually protecting you from the sheer magnitude of the blessing you are not yet prepared to handle. Or perhaps it is even worse. Perhaps, as the first heavy drops of abundance begin to fall, you instinctively, unconsciously, put up an umbrella. The umbrella of, "I'm not worthy of this." The umbrella of, "This is too much. It's going to complicate my life." The umbrella of the most insidious fear of all. If I have it, I might lose it, and that pain would be unbearable. You have been praying for the life-giving rain while simultaneously shielding yourself from it. The deepest reason why abundance may not be in your life is not because you are unworthy of it, but because on a subconscious level you are terrified of it, and you are not yet a large enough container to receive it. Let us bring this fear out of the shadows and into the light, for it is only in the light that it can be dissolved. What is this fear of having, really? First, it is the fear of responsibility. Lack is, in its own way, simple. Its problems are repetitive and familiar. Abundance, on the other hand, brings with it complexity and choice. It requires conscious stewardship, management, and a new level of engagement with life. A part of you, the part that craves safety and fears making a wrong move, may be unconsciously keeping you in lack because the problems of scarcity, while painful, feel simpler and more manageable than the perceived problems of abundance. Second, it is the fear of visibility. Success makes you visible. When you are struggling, you can largely hide from the world. But when you begin to thrive, you step into the light. People notice. And with that notice comes the potential for judgment, for envy, for criticism, for jealousy. The inner child within you, the one whose greatest desire is to be safe and to fit in, may be terrified of the spotlight. It may be sabotaging your success to keep you safely hidden in the shadows of mediocrity where no one will look at you too closely. Third, and perhaps most profoundly, it is the fear of how your relationships will change. This is a deep, tribal fear. If I become wealthy, will my old friends still like me? Will my family treat me differently? Will people only want to be with me for what I have, not for who I am? The fear of being cast out of your tribe, of no longer belonging, can be so powerful that your subconscious mind will fiercely protect you from success in order to maintain the familiar comfort of your current social connections. Fourth, there is the great paradox, the fear of loss. You cannot lose what you do not have. The moment you receive something wonderful, be it money, a beautiful relationship, or a dream opportunity, a brand new fear is born. The fear that it could be taken away. For many, the anticipated agony of a future loss feels so much greater than the current, familiar pain of lack that it feels safer on a deep, primal level to never have the thing in the first place. Your subconscious is trying to protect you from a future hurt by denying you a present joy. And finally, there is the fear of identity, death. Who would you be without your struggle? Your identity may be deeply and secretly intertwined with your problems. I am a survivor. I am a hard worker who pulls through against the odds. I am a humble, down-to-earth person. What happens to that identity when the struggle ceases? Who are you without the familiar narrative of striving? The ego can be so terrified of this annihilation that it will cling to the known identity of lack rather than leap into the unknown identity of ease and abundance. So how do you expand your container? How do you put down the umbrella and prepare for the flood? The first step is to gently and without judgment acknowledge these fears. Ask yourself in the quiet of your own heart, what am I truly afraid of if I become wildly, joyfully, and sustainably successful? Let the answers come. Write them down, see them, bring the monsters out from under the bed and into the light. The moment you see a fear clearly, it begins to lose its power over you. The second step is to practice the art of receiving. You must train your nervous system to be comfortable with incoming goodness. Start small. The next time someone gives you a genuine compliment, what is your instinct? To deflect it, to minimize it, to immediately compliment them back. Your new practice is to pause, take a breath, look them in the eye, and simply say, "Thank you, I receive that." Feel the energy of their gift land in your heart. When a friend offers to buy you a coffee, do not argue. Simply say, "Thank you, that is so kind." You must practice allowing goodness to flow to you without the frantic need to immediately balance the scales. The third step is to consciously upgrade your identity. You must begin to see yourself, to feel yourself, as the person who can gracefully handle the abundance you are calling in. This is where your "I am" statements become your tools for building a new container. I am a wise and capable steward of my resources. I am comfortable with success and visibility. I handle all of my affairs with grace, wisdom, and ease. I am a gracious receiver. You are consciously building the inner framework of a new self, a self who is a match for a larger life. Finally, in your imaginative practice, do not just visualize the moment of receiving, go beyond that. Visualize yourself living with and managing your abundance gracefully. Imagine yourself 6 months into your new reality, feeling peaceful, centered, and competent. Imagine yourself navigating conversations with family and friends with love and clarity. Imagine yourself joyfully and wisely directing your resources. You are building the neurological pathways in your brain that will make these future situations feel familiar, normal, and safe when they arrive. The universe is not testing your worthiness. You have already been deemed worthy. It is, however, waiting for your readiness. It is waiting for you to build a vessel strong enough and vast enough to contain the magnificent gifts it is longing to pour into your life. Your outer world of abundance can never expand beyond the confines of the inner container you have built for it. So I invite you now to begin the sacred work of expansion. Become bigger on the inside. Become so rooted in your worthiness, so practiced in your receiving, and so comfortable with the energy of success that the entire universe looks upon you and declares, this one is ready for the flood." You are now consciously building a larger container for abundance, becoming ready to receive the harvest that is rightfully yours. You are clearing the clutter, speaking the new language, and listening to the compass of your body. But what is the master practice that strengthens and clarifies this container each day? What is the master key that quiets the noise of the world long enough for you to hear the subtle guiding whispers of the universe? We must now speak of the most profoundly practical and yet most misunderstood financial tool you will ever possess. We must speak of the silence that pays. We must speak of the sacred art of meditation. In the frantic culture you have been raised in, The very idea of sitting in silence to solve a financial crisis seems irresponsible, even absurd. You have been taught that to solve a problem, especially a money problem, you must think harder, strategize more, work longer hours, and push with more force. This approach is born from the fundamental belief that you, with your limited, fearful, egoic mind, are the one who is solely responsible for finding the solution. Meditation is the radical and liberating act of admitting that your egoic mind, with its endless loops of worry and past regrets, is simply not equipped for the job. It is the act of respectfully asking the chattering, anxious part of yourself to step aside, so that a far greater, calmer, and infinitely more creative intelligence may finally have a chance to speak. Meditation is not an escape from your problems. It is the most direct and productive way to solve them at their source. Imagine your mind is the surface of a vast ocean. On a typical day, this surface is a raging storm. The winds of worry about the future, the crashing waves of past mistakes, and the chaotic, cross-cutting currents of other people's opinions churn the surface into an opaque and noisy mess. You are in a small boat, tossed about on these turbulent waves, desperately scanning the churning water for the treasures you seek: the brilliant business idea, the solution to a lingering debt, the clear path forward. But you can see nothing. The water is too murky. The noise is too deafening. The more you panic, the more you flail, the worse the storm becomes. But deep beneath this surface storm, the ocean is always, eternally, calm. In the profound, silent, crystal-clear water of the deep lie all the treasures you could ever desire. There are luminous pearls of wisdom. There are sunken chests filled with the priceless jewels of creative inspiration. There are pristine, ancient maps that show the most direct route to your destination. They are all there, resting in perfect, silent stillness, waiting to be seen. What then is meditation? Meditation is not the act of frantically diving into the depths to search for the treasure. That would be just another form of anxious striving. Meditation is the simple, courageous, and profound act of dropping anchor, pulling down the tattered sails of your thoughts, and allowing the storm on the surface to naturally, gracefully cease. As you sit in silence, as you gently rest your attention on the anchor of your breath, the winds of worry begin to lose their power. The waves of regret begin to flatten into a gentle swell. The surface of the ocean of your mind becomes like polished glass. And then, without any effort, without any struggle, you can simply look down from your boat and see, with breathtaking clarity, the treasures that were there on the ocean floor all along. The solution appears, not because you found it, but because you became still enough to see it. The inspired idea arises not because you forced it, but because you created the silence for it to be heard. This practice yields threefold financial benefits. The first is that meditation quiets the scarcity transmitter. As we have discussed, your anxious mind is a powerful radio tower, constantly broadcasting the frequency of fear, lack, and desperation. The universe, being a perfect mirror, dutifully matches this frequency. The most fundamental function of meditation is to switch this transmitter off, even for just a few minutes a day. In the silence, you cease to actively broadcast the signal of lack. This act alone is transformative. You stop pouring fuel on the fire of your problems. You create a space of vibrational neutrality from which a new reality can emerge. The second benefit is that meditation allows you to receive divine guidance. The universe, the higher intelligence, your own deeper soul, whatever name you give, it is constantly whispering its secrets to you. It is sending you million-dollar ideas in the shower. It is presenting solutions in the quiet moments between thoughts. It is nudging you towards life-changing opportunities, but you cannot hear these subtle, high-frequency whispers over the deafening shout of your own internal monologue. The silence of meditation is the sacred space in which these whispers can finally be perceived. The aha moment you are searching for will not come from thinking harder. It will come when you have finally stopped thinking and have begun to truly listen. The third benefit is that meditation is the master practice for vibrational alignment. It is the tuning fork for the soul. As you sit and marinate in the feeling of peace, in the sensation of stillness, in the quiet knowing that you are connected to something far greater than your problems, you are actively, physically, calibrating your entire being to the frequency of abundance. Remember, true abundance is not a frantic, anxious energy. It is a calm, centered, trusting energy. By practicing the feeling of peace in meditation, you are becoming a living magnet for all outcomes, people, and resources that will bring you more peace, including financial peace. Let me guide you through a simple practice. Find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed for 10 minutes. Sit comfortably with your spine straight but not stiff. Gently close your eyes. Begin by bringing your full yet gentle attention to the sensation of your breath. Feel the coolness of the air as it enters your nostrils and the warmth as it leaves. This sensation is your anchor. It holds you in the safety of the present moment. Now, thoughts will inevitably arise. This is the nature of the mind. Do not fight them. Do not get angry at them. Do not judge yourself for having them. Simply see them for what they are, clouds passing in the sky or waves on the surface of the ocean. When you notice you have been carried away by a thought, simply, gently, and without any drama, acknowledge it. Thinking, and then lovingly guide your attention back to the physical sensation of your anchor, your breath. Each time you do this, you are exercising a spiritual muscle. Each time you return to the breath, the storm on the surface subsides a little more. The water of your mind becomes a little clearer. Rest here for a few minutes. Now, in the final moments of your practice, as you feel a sense of calm and stillness, gently introduce a feeling. Do not use words. Just evoke the pure physical sensation of gratitude in your chest, or the feeling of profound security in your gut, or the feeling of trust in your whole body. Let this feeling saturate the silence you have created. You are now dropping a potent seed of abundance into the most fertile soil imaginable. When you are ready, slowly bring your awareness back to the sounds in the room, to the feeling of your body in the chair. Carry that kernel of peace with you as you gently open your eyes. You have just completed the most important and productive financial work of your day. Your greatest breakthroughs will not come when you are frantically working, but when you are profoundly still. Stop trying to outwit the storm. It is an unwinnable battle that leads only to burnout. Have the wisdom to drop your anchor into the deep, silent waters of the present moment. Let your mind become still, for only then will you see the priceless treasures that have been resting patiently on the ocean floor, waiting for you all along. Make an appointment with this silence every single day. Honor it as your most important meeting. For in that silence lies the peace you seek, the wisdom you crave, and the boundless abundance you so richly deserve. The silence does not just pay, it enriches you beyond all measure. You have sat in the deep, creative silence of your own being. You have listened to the wisdom of your body's compass. You have learned to trust the effortless flow of inspired action. Now comes the final, most courageous, and most magical step in this entire journey. It is the step that fully bridges the inner world of cause with the outer world of effect. It is the alchemical process that turns the vapor of imagination into the solid gold of lived experience. You must now learn to live in this very moment, not as the person who is trying to attain abundance, but as the person who already embodies it. You must master the sacred art of living as if. You must begin living from the end. All the work we have done until now, clearing the old beliefs, tuning your vibrational frequency, creating the blueprint in your imagination, has been to prepare you for this singular, powerful act. It is the act of assuming the consciousness of your future self, right now. It is to so completely inhabit the feeling of your wish being fulfilled that it becomes your new, natural state of being. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. Therefore, you must become the person you wish to be. Now, imagine you are the world's greatest method actor. You have been handed the script for the role of a lifetime. The role is titled, You Fulfilled. It is the version of you that is peaceful, prosperous, generous, and free. Your job, as a master of your craft, is not to simply stand on the stage and woodenly recite the lines of an abundant person. Your job is not to mechanically mimic the gestures of a wealthy individual. Your job is to become the character from the inside out. A great actor does not constantly ask, "What would my character do in this situation?" That is the question of a novice, an outsider looking in. The master actor asks, "As this character, as this being, what do I naturally feel? What do I think? What is my authentic impulse?" They meditate on the character's history, their worldview, their core emotions. They learn to think the character's thoughts, to feel the character's feelings, to walk with their posture, to breathe with their rhythm. They inhabit the consciousness of the role so completely that their choices on stage are no longer choices. They are natural, spontaneous expressions of that assumed identity. They do not try to be the character, they simply are the character. And the line between the actor and the role dissolves. This is your task now. This is not the powerless concept of fake it till you make it. Faking it implies a duplicity, a lie. It is the energy of pretending. This is the far more profound and powerful act of living it till it becomes it. It is an act of supreme faith, a conscious choice to inhabit a more expansive reality before it has fully hardened into fact around you. How does one practice this? It begins the moment you wake. Before your feet touch the floor, before you are fully conscious, you must perform the great assumption. Ask yourself this question: if all my prayers were already answered, if I were already the peaceful, secure, and abundant person I desire to be, how would I feel waking up this morning? Would you wake with a knot of anxiety in your stomach, your mind immediately racing through a list of problems? Or would you wake with a slow, deep breath of gratitude for the day ahead, with a quiet, confident peace in your heart? Choose the feeling of the latter. Generate that feeling of peaceful gratitude in your body now, before you even get out of bed. You are starting your day from within the consciousness of your fulfilled self. Then, as you move through your day, at every choice point, you pause and consult your new identity. Standing before your closet, you do not ask, "What should I wear?" You ask, "What would the prosperous and confident version of me choose to wear today?" At lunch, you do not ask, "What can I afford?" You ask, "How would the abundant version of me, who knows they are always provided for, choose to nourish their body right now?" When faced with a task, you do not ask, "What if I fail?" You ask, "How would the successful version of me approach this task with confidence and ease?" You must begin to make the choices, however small, that your future self would make. Each of these choices is a powerful declaration. Each choice is a vote you cast for your new reality. There is a subtle but monumental distinction you must grasp. You must learn to think from your wish fulfilled, not of your wish fulfilled. To think of your desire is to see it as something separate from you, something in the future you are hoping for. This maintains the gap between you and it. To think from your desire is to occupy it as a present tense reality. For example, the person thinking of wealth sees a beautiful car and thinks, "I want that car one day." The person thinking from wealth sees the same car and thinks, "That is a beautiful color," with the same detached appreciation they would give a flower, because the acquisition of things is no longer the driving force of their life. The person thinking of a beautiful home looks at listings online. The person thinking from that home, in their imagination, thinks, I must remember to have the garden tended to. It is a radical shift from the perspective of the seeker to the perspective of the haver. Now, as you begin to live from this new state, the outer world, which is only ever a delayed reflection of your old inner state, will present you with contradictory evidence. This is the great test of your faith. You will receive a bill that belongs to your old reality. You will face a challenge that was born from your old consciousness. Imagine that your old reality is a movie set that is currently being demolished. At the same time, the new, more magnificent set is being built right around it. As you walk through your day, you will see the rubble of the old set. You will see stagehands taking down the old walls. The amateur actor would see the rubble, panic, and forget their lines. They would break character and cry, "This isn't real, it's all just a set." But the master actor, the one who is completely immersed in their role, is not distracted by the stagehands in the background. Their focus remains entirely within the reality of the play. This is what you must do. When a piece of contradictory evidence from your old reality appears, you do not panic. You do not revert to the old character of lack and fear. You look upon it calmly and you say to yourself, "Ah, yes, they are still demolishing that part of the old set. That has nothing to do with me." And you calmly, regally, return to the feeling, state of your new reality. Your ability to remain loyal to your unseen dream, in the face of all evidence to the contrary, is the measure of your creative power. This is the ultimate adventure. Can you believe in the reality of your imagination more than you believe in the illusion of your current circumstances? Can you keep the faith with your future self? Can you walk this earth today as the person you are in the process of becoming? This is the final and most crucial key. Stop waiting for the world to change before you feel good. Feel good now, and watch the world rearrange itself to match your feeling. Live from the end. Act as if. For in the kingdom of heaven, which is your own magnificent consciousness, it is already done. Your only remaining task is to live in faithful accordance with that unseen truth, until it inevitably hardens into glorious, undeniable fact. You have now journeyed to the very peak of creative power. You have learned to become the master actor, to fully embody the state of your wish fulfilled, to command your reality through the power of your assumed identity. And now, standing here on this summit, having learned all the ways to manifest and acquire, I must share with you the final and most divine paradox of this entire path. It is a truth so simple and so profound that it may seem to contradict all that has come before. But in fact, it is the master key that unlocks the entire kingdom. The ultimate state of wealth is not found in having more, it is found in needing less. The greatest abundance you will ever experience is the profound and unshakable freedom that comes with radical simplicity. We have traveled far on this road together to learn the art of acquiring. We must now, in this final stage, learn the higher and more graceful art of letting go. For the true goal of this spiritual journey was never to fill your life with more things. The goal was always to fill your soul with so much peace that the things themselves cease to hold any power over you. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a great king sitting upon a throne of solid gold. He is draped in the finest silks, adorned with jewels that shimmer like captured stars. His palaces are vast, his armies are mighty, his treasuries are overflowing. By every external measure, he has everything a person could possibly desire. But I want you to look closer. Look into his eyes. His brow is furrowed with the deep lines of worry. He is constantly anxious about the plots of his enemies. He is burdened by the crushing weight of his responsibilities. Every possession he owns is another thing to be guarded, another source of potential loss, another link in the heavy chain of his own anxiety. He is a prisoner on his own throne, possessed by his possessions. Now, shift your focus. Imagine a hermit, sitting peacefully at the mouth of a simple cave high in the mountains. He owns nothing but the single saffron robe on his back and a wooden bowl for drinking water from the stream. He has no armies to command, no treasuries to count, no reputation to uphold. The sun on his face is his gold. The song of the birds is his symphony. The vast, silent panorama of the mountains is his kingdom. His mind is as still as the mountain lake below. His heart is as wide as the sky above. He needs absolutely nothing from the world, and because of this, the entire world is his. He possesses a freedom, a lightness, a richness of being that the king, in all his material splendor, cannot even begin to comprehend. So I ask you now, who is the truly wealthy man? The one who has everything but is a slave to it, or the one who has nothing but is the master of himself and therefore possesses the entire universe? This is the divine paradox you must now contemplate. Look deeply at your own desires for more wealth, more possessions, more external validation. What is the feeling state you are truly chasing? When you desire the expensive car, are you truly seeking the metal, the glass, and the rubber? Or are you seeking the feeling of freedom, of power, of prestige? When you desire the large, beautiful house, are you truly seeking the rooms, the walls, and the furniture? Or are you seeking the feeling of security, of peace, of sanctuary, of belonging? For your entire life, you have been chasing the outer symbols, believing that they held the key to the inner feeling. The great and liberating secret is that you can cultivate the feeling, the freedom, the peace, the security directly within your own consciousness without needing the symbol at all. The accumulation of things is a subtle trap. Every object you bring into your life requires a piece of your life force. It demands a portion of your attention. It must be stored, cleaned, maintained, insured, and worried about. A life filled with things is a life filled with complexity and entanglement. It is a subtle and respectable form of bondage. True freedom, the ultimate abundance, is a state of inner simplicity, a state of needing nothing external to feel whole, peaceful, and complete. This is not a call to a life of harsh asceticism. It is not a command to renounce the world and go live in a cave, unless that happens to be your soul's deepest and most authentic calling. It is a call to become a sovereign being, a conscious creator who is the master of their own desires, rather than a mindless slave to them. It is an invitation to find your own personal point of elegant sufficiency. That sweet spot where you have everything you truly need to live a joyful, beautiful, comfortable, and creative life, with absolutely nothing in excess. It is the practice of learning to say a graceful and powerful no. No to the compulsive emotional purchase. No to the endless cycle of upgrades. No to the social pressure to acquire the next fashionable object that promises a happiness it can never deliver. Every time you say no to an unnecessary external thing, you are saying a profound yes to your own internal peace. You begin to shift your search for wealth away from objects and towards experiences. The thrill of a new purchase fades, often in a matter of days. But the richness of a deep and meaningful conversation, the awe of witnessing a sunset paint the sky, the satisfaction of learning a new skill, the warmth of a moment of true human connection, these are the treasures that can nourish your soul for a lifetime. And this brings us back to the master practice, the declaration of enough. To be able to look at your life exactly as it is in this moment and say with utter sincerity, I have enough. I am enough. This is enough. In that moment of profound contentment, the frantic, hungry search for more dissolves. The hamster wheel grinds to a halt, and into that newfound stillness, a peace that surpasses all understanding rushes in to take its place. And here is the final, beautiful twist in the story. When you can truly, honestly, arrive at this state of needing nothing, of finding your wealth in the elegant simplicity of your own being, you paradoxically become the most powerful magnet for material abundance you have ever been. Why? Because you have finally and completely detached from the outcome. Your energy is no longer needy or grasping. It is whole, calm, peaceful, and self-sufficient. The universe, which loves this frequency of sovereignty, absolutely delights in showering you with gifts, because it knows, finally, that you will not be imprisoned by them. You can receive a check for $1 million with the same calm grace as you would receive a single, beautiful flower from a child, enjoying its beauty while it is there, and being perfectly at peace if and when it should fade. The hermit in the cave could be handed the keys to the kingdom, and it would not fundamentally disturb his inner peace. The anxious king on the throne could be given another kingdom, and it would only double his anxiety. The goal of this journey, therefore, is not to gain the king's riches. It is to gain the hermit's peace, regardless of your outer circumstances. It is to build your palace on the inside first, a vast inner palace of contentment, gratitude, and simple joys. The journey to unlock the money code does not conclude with a full bank account. It concludes with a full soul. It ends with the stunning realization that the code was never about learning how to acquire anything. It was always about remembering the profound truth that, in your essence, you already are everything. Find the richness in a simple cup of tea. Find the treasure in a moment of shared laughter. Find the immeasurable abundance in a single, conscious, grateful breath. When you can do this, you have truly and finally unlocked the code. You have become wealth itself, and the entire universe, in all its glory, will joyfully rush to reflect that magnificent truth back to you. We have journeyed together to the highest peaks of understanding. We have looked upon the paradox of simplicity and the power of embodiment. Now, as we prepare to descend from this mountain of shared wisdom and walk back into the beautiful, unique valley of your own individual life, we must address a final and most liberating truth. Throughout this journey, I have offered you principles, metaphors, and techniques. I have shared with you the universal laws of creation, but you must now integrate the most important teaching of all. These are not a rigid one-size-fits-all formula. They are a map, but you are the explorer. They are a set of master tools, but you are the master artisan. For the ultimate secret of the money code is this: there is no single universal money code. There is only your money code. In the vast and often confusing world of spirituality and self-development, there lies a great and subtle danger. It is the danger of taking a living, breathing truth and calcifying it into a dead, rigid dogma. It is the temptation to find a teacher, a system, or a book, and to follow its instructions blindly, believing it holds the one and only answer for everyone. This path does not lead to liberation. It leads to a new and more insidious form of imprisonment, a cage whose bars are made of shoulds and should nots, where you are constantly measuring your own progress against the path of another and always feeling like you are falling short. I want you to imagine that your soul, in its magnificent and singular expression, is an intricate and beautiful lock. There is no other lock exactly like it in the entire history of the cosmos. The door this lock secures is the door to your own personal, unique fulfillment, your own perfect expression of abundance. Now, the universal principles we have discussed: resonance, imagination, gratitude, forgiveness, inspired action, simplicity. These are like the raw materials for a key. They are the strong, uncut bronze, the universal metal from which any key can be made. The techniques I have shared are the tools in the locksmith's shop: the files, the grinders, the buffers, and the polishing cloths. My role as your guide through this audiobook has been to welcome you into this workshop, to hand you the raw bronze of these principles, and to demonstrate how to use the tools. But I cannot, and I must not, attempt to forge the key for you. To do so would be a profound violation of your own creative sovereignty. Your sacred work now is to take this metal and these tools into the private workshop of your own soul and begin to forge your own unique key. The specific shape of your most powerful affirmations, the unique and personal scenes that move your soul in imagination, the particular way you express gratitude that brings tears to your eyes. These are the custom-cut teeth of your key. They must be shaped by your own intuition, your own joy, your own inner guidance. To try and use my key, or Neville Goddard's key, or the key of any other teacher on the unique lock of your soul, will only ever result in frustration and a feeling of failure. It simply will not fit. The greatest honor you can ever pay to any teaching is to use it as a catalyst to discover your own inner authority. Let us make this practical. We spoke of tuning to the frequency of abundance, but the feeling of abundance is unique for everyone. For one person, it may be the feeling of deep, quiet peace we have discussed, but for you, it might be the feeling of exuberant, creative joy. For another, it might be the thrill of adventurous freedom. Do not try to force yourself to feel what a book or a recording tells you to feel. Become a student of your own resonance. What feeling makes your body feel light? What feeling makes your spirit feel expansive? What feeling makes your heart sing? That is your personal frequency of abundance. Tune to that. The same is true for your imagination. The scenes that deeply move one person may feel cold and sterile to you. Perhaps your most powerful imaginative act is not a quiet scene, but the feeling of dancing wildly in your living room to your favorite piece of music, feeling utterly free. Perhaps it is the feeling of walking in a forest, feeling deeply connected to the effortless abundance of nature. Your subconscious mind speaks its own rich and personal symbolic language. You must become the interpreter of your own dreams, the master of your own inner theater. And most importantly, your inspired action will not look like anyone else's. Your unique path to wealth and fulfillment may have nothing to do with starting a business or playing the stock market. Your path may be through your art, through healing others, through innovative science, through compassionate teaching, through raising conscious and loving children, through creating beautiful gardens. There are 1 billion different rivers that all lead to the same ocean of well-being. Your sacred duty is not to find the widest or fastest river that others are traveling. It is to find the river that makes your own heart sing as you journey upon it. With this understanding, I want you to release, once and for all, the crippling and anxious question, am I doing it right? There is no universal right way. There is only your way. The only metric of success you ever need is your own feeling state. Does this practice bring you a sense of relief? Does this affirmation make you feel lighter? Does this way of thinking bring you more peace and more joy? If the answer is yes, then you are doing it right. If any practice or belief, no matter how highly recommended by any teacher, feels heavy, forced, dogmatic, or joyless to you, then it is not the right tool for you at this time. Let it go without guilt. Your own inner feeling of resonance is the ultimate and only guru you ever need to follow. This journey is not a rigid and stressful examination with a pass or fail grade at the end. It is a dance. It is an exploration. It is a grand and glorious act of play. Be gentle with yourself. Be curious. Be willing to experiment, to try things on, and to discard them if they do not fit. My voice, in your ears, has been here to point the way, to illuminate the universal principles, to hold a lamp up to the path, and most of all, to remind you again and again of the infinite power that already resides within you. But I am not the destination. These teachings are but a finger pointing to the moon. Please, do not become fascinated with the finger. Look at the moon. The moon is the magnificent, luminous, ever-present truth of your own divine consciousness. My work is complete at the precise moment you no longer need my voice, because you have finally learned to hear, and more importantly, to trust the far more powerful, intimate, and loving voice of your own soul. Therefore, take all that has resonated with you on this journey, weave it into the beautiful and unique tapestry of your own being, and gracefully, without a second thought, discard anything that has not served you. You are the creator, you are the artist, you are the architect, the locksmith, and the sovereign of your own reality. The code is not a universal password to be memorized. It is a unique and holy song that only your soul can sing. Your final, joyful, lifelong task is simply to listen for that inner music and to sing it with all your heart, in your own unique, magnificent, and unapologetically authentic voice. You have now discovered that the key to your abundance is unique to you, that the song of prosperity is one that only your soul can sing. You are standing in the workshop of your own being, ready to live from your own inner authority. And so, we arrive at the final bend in the river, the last step on this shared journey of discovery. You may be asking, where does this path ultimately lead? What is the final destination? When do I know that I have finally arrived? Here, at the culmination of all our work together, I must share with you the most liberating secret of all. There is no destination. There is no finish line you cross, where a cosmic bell rings and you are declared abundant for all time. The journey itself, the very act of walking this path of conscious creation, is the destination. For abundance is not a place you get to. It is a state of being you learn to inhabit. It is not a static achievement. It is a perpetual, rhythmic, and beautiful flow. For your entire life, you have been conditioned to see success as a destination to be reached, a mountain peak to be conquered, a city of gold at the end of a long and arduous road. This goal-oriented mindset is the very thing that has kept you in a perpetual state of striving, always feeling like you are not there yet. It is the final illusion that we must now gently and lovingly dissolve. I want you to bring your awareness to the most fundamental and effortless process of your life, the process that has sustained you from the moment of your birth and will sustain you to the moment of your departure. I want you to become aware of your own breath. Feel it now, the gentle, cool inhale as the air of the world enters you, and the warm, soft exhale as you release it back into the world, in and out. This simple, quiet rhythm is the perfect metaphor for the perpetual flow of abundance. It is the money code written in the language of your own body. The inhale is a perfect act of receiving. You do not struggle for it. You do not have to earn it or prove you are worthy of it. You simply open, allow, and receive the life-giving gift of the universe. It fills you, nourishes you, and becomes a part of you. The exhale is a perfect act of releasing, of letting go, of giving back to the world that which has served its purpose within you. You must do both to live. What would happen if you tried to only inhale? If you took one massive gulp of air and then held it, thinking, I have it, this air is mine, I will not let it go, you would poison yourself from within. Your body would convulse, your face would turn blue. The desperate act of trying to hoard the very thing that gives you life would, in fact, kill you. To live, you must trust the exhale. You must trust that, as you release what you have, the next inhale will always be there, waiting for you. And it always, always is. The flow of universal abundance of money, of love, of energy, of ideas, operates on this exact same sacred principle. It is a constant, rhythmic, effortless cycle of receiving and giving, of inhaling and exhaling. All our anxiety, all our struggle, all our financial dis-ease comes from a dysfunctional relationship with this natural rhythm. We try to hoard our inhale. We fear the exhale. We hold our breath in a state of suspended panic and then wonder why we feel so lifeless. Think back on our journey together. Every principle we have uncovered is simply a way to restore your natural, healthy, spiritual breathing. We looked into the mirror of reality, which simply shows you whether you are breathing freely or holding your breath in fear. We uncovered the inherited chains of old beliefs, which were like a constriction in your throat, making every breath shallow and labored. We stepped off the hamster wheel of scarcity, which was the frantic, panicked gasping of someone who fears they are about to run out of air. We discovered the diamond of your intrinsic value, which is the profound knowing that you are inherently worthy of the air you breathe. We learned about resonance, understanding that a calm, deep, rhythmic breath creates the very frequency of abundance. We entered the architect's studio of your imagination, which is the art of feeling the deep satisfaction of a full breath even before you take it. We saw that money is a river, which is the outer manifestation of the invisible currents of the breath. We fertilized the soil of our being with gratitude, which is the feeling of pure joy for the breath you are taking in this very moment. We learned the art of detached desire, which is the trust that the next breath will arrive without you having to force it or worry about it. We created a void by clearing our clutter, which is the sacred, peaceful pause between the exhale and the next inhale, the space where all potential resides. We learned that our words are the commands to either breathe deeply or hold your breath in fear. We learned to listen to the body as the barometer, the lungs themselves, which tell us instantly if our breathing is easy or labored. We embraced inspired action, which is the effortless coordination of the muscles that allow the inhale and exhale to happen naturally. We learned that giving is the sacred exhale, the release that makes the next act of receiving possible. We expanded our container, which is like increasing our lung capacity so we can take in more of life. We found wealth in simplicity, realizing we don't need a special oxygen-enriched chamber to live. The air is everywhere, and it is free. And we honored our unique code, which is your own personal, natural, and perfect breathing rhythm. Your new life, then, is not about finally reaching a destination where you can take one big final breath and be done. It is about falling in love with the process of breathing itself. It is finding the same quiet joy in the inhale of receiving as you do in the exhale of giving. You are no longer trying to get to the end of the song. You are finally, simply enjoying the music. Some days, your breathing will be deep, slow, and powerful. These are the times of great expansion and receiving. Other days, your breath may be quieter, shallower. These are the times of rest, integration, and stillness. You do not judge the rhythm. You trust it. You participate in it, knowing that it is the very rhythm of life itself breathing through you. So I invite you now, in this final moment of our work together, to let go. Let go of the destination, let go of the struggle, let go of the need to arrive. Your only work, your only practice, your only joyful and lifelong task from this moment forward is simply to breathe. Breathe in the boundless gifts of the universe with a grateful heart, and breathe out your unique and beautiful gifts to the world with a loving one. Trust this simple, trust this profound, trust this perpetual rhythm. You came here seeking to unlock a code, and the code, in the end, is this. You are the flow, you are the breath, you are the abundance you have been seeking. There is nothing to chase, there is nothing to attain, there is only being. Be this now, and for all of your tomorrows. And so, our time together on this journey of remembrance comes to a close. We return to the beginning, but we do not return the same. You came here seeking a key, a secret, a code to unlock the vast vaults of abundance. You perhaps imagined a complex sequence of numbers, a hidden password, an arcane formula known only to a select few. The final truth is this. The code was never hidden from you. It was never outside of you. It was not in a book. It was not in my voice. It was not held in a secret chamber in some distant land, waiting to be discovered. The code has been with you always, pulsing quietly beneath the noise of the world, waiting patiently to be acknowledged. The code is the flawless mirror of your own consciousness. It is the steady and unwavering compass of your own body. It is the fertile soil of your grateful heart. It is the mighty river of energy that you were born to channel. It is the silent, holy rhythm of your own breath. The code, in its entirety, is you, all of you. The magnificent, divine, and creative being that you are. Therefore, let go of all the techniques, all the metaphors, and all the words from this journey, if you must. Let them fall away like scaffolding from a completed building, and hold on only to this. This is the code, condensed into its purest and most potent form. A mantra not to be chanted, but to be lived. Breathe it in, become it. I am the source. The flow begins with me. There is nothing more to learn. There is nothing more to seek. There is nowhere else to go. The search is over. Rest in this knowing. Rest in the profound and simple peace of your own being. Be still. And know, you are home.